Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto hides his genius part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. 12 years ago a great tragedy befell the great village of Konohamaru, or better known as the village hidden in the leaves. What was this tragedy? Simple, the nine-tailed demon fox suddenly appeared and attacked the village in a rage. However, this came as a shock to some as they knew that the fox was sealed away in Kushina Uzumaki and that the fox wasn't as evil as everyone thought it was, so for it to suddenly show up and start attacking in a rage was rather suspect and a source of worry for Kushina's condition as well as those that were with her. And worry they should, for shortly after Kushina gave birth to her and her husband Minato Namikaze, otherwise known as the Yellow Flash, and the fourth Hokage's first son Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, a strange man in an orange spiral mask, appeared and killed everyone else and managed to separate Minato from his wife by taking Naruto hostage. This allowed the man to forcefully remove the Kyuubi from Kushina, however the Kyuubi knew what was going to wind up happening due to this and quickly sent a message out to the realm of the summoning foxes to relay what's going on to the monkeys, turtles, dogs, toads and any other summons that Konoha uses in hopes of making things better for Naruto after everything blew over. Not that the Kyuubi minded being sealed into the poor boy, as well Minato and Kushina were working on a plan to safely free the Kyuubi as he wasn't a threat to Konoha and was going to go live in the summoning realm and run the Fox clan. That's not to say the Kyuubi didn't do his best in fighting against the mind control and tried to break free, he did, but whoever the man was knew exactly how to control a tailed beast effectively. Something that bothered the Kyuubi greatly as only very few people have ever managed to succeed in controlling a tailed beast, let alone him. Only Uchiha being the first to ever fully control him, and he died some years later as the last person to know how to truly control a tailed beast, so how did this person know how to control him was confusing and frustrating. The noble ninja of Konoha knew none of this as they valiantly defended their home from the mind-controlled fox. By the time Minato got Naruto ready for the regrettable sealing that he was about to do on him, nearly half of the village's forces were wiped out. Of course the Kyuubi used the situation to his advantage to take out Danzo and his route with a massive tailed beast blast. Minato noticed where the Kyuubi was aiming and let him fire his attack. To everyone else that didn't know about route or where its base was located, only saw the Kyuubi blow out a massive hole into the side of the mountain right next to the Hokage mountain. Danzo didn't know what hit him as he was vaporized along with his ambitions and schemes. He was not missed. After the Kyuubi fired its attack, Minato used a short recharge time to teleport the Kyuubi away from the village and to where Naruto was to preform the sealing, knowing that due to circumstances, it would cost him his life. Minato hoped that Kushina would make it so that Naruto wasn't alone in the world. "Forgive my son," Minato told Naruto as he flew through the hand seals needed for the sealing. As soon as he was done, Minato shouted "Reaper Death Seal," summoning the Shimigami, or the Death God, who started pulling the Kyuubi's soul into Naruto, breaking the control the masked man had on him. "Minato, I wish that things didn't have to come to this," apologized the Kyuubi as he was being sucked into Naruto. "I know I only wish is that the villagers see Naruto for who he is and not a monster for having you sealed into him," said Minato with heavy breaths. "I can't guarantee that he'll stay fully human due to me being sealed into him so soon after he was born," said the Kyuubi. "Any child that is born to a Bijuu's female container will have a high amount of their energy in them, but it'll fade away by the time they can walk and talk. However, if that child is around other demons or has that same Bijuu sealed into them, there is a good chance that they'll become a half-demon," explained the Kyuubi after seeing Minato's horror-struck face. Soon the sealing was done and the Death God took Minato's soul with him, but a higher power forced him to let Minato go to the pure world as they knew about a certain event that was going to happen within the next 2 decades. The third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, arrived to scene shortly to find Naruto crying on the altar that Minato summoned to preform the sealing on, as well as Minato's fallen body. "Hush now, Naruto, everything will be alright," soothed Sarutobi as he picked up the poor babe. "Anbu, please bring the fourth's body with," said Sarutobi, "and see if you can find out what happened to cause this to happen." "I can't believe he's gone," said Inu, one of the Anbu that was there. "Tell me, have you found Kushina?" asked Sarutobi. "Yes, she's with Jiraiya and Tsunade at the moment," replied Inu, "however I don't know how well she is currently." "That's good to know, hopefully she'll pull through," said Sarutobi. "Now let's move out." Hiruzen Sarutobi soon got himself ready for the emergency council meeting after conferring with the fire dynamo, who just so happened to be in the village during the attack, beforehand to make sure that the council didn't try anything funny like take more power than they should have. "Alright, let's get to business," said Hiruzen as he entered the room carrying a sleeping Naruto in his arms. "Is that the demon container?" asked one of the civilian councillors. "Indeed he is," started Hiruzen. "Then kill it. And finish what the fourth started." yelled the counselor. All of the civilian and some of the shinobi counselors agreed loudly as well. How Naruto slept through it all, the third had no idea. Silence! Roared Hiruzen as he let out a large amount of his kai out at the council, making them shut up. If I may, Lord Third, just who is the child and who are his parents? Asked Hiashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan. His name is Naruto, replied Hiruzen, and he is the son of Minato and Kushina. Where is Kushina? I saw Minato's body on the way in, but didn't see her anywhere, asked Tsume Inyazuka, head of the Inyazuka clan. With my apprentice currently, as she is currently in a coma, answered Tsunade, who was worried for both Naruto and Kushina. Any idea when she'll awaken? Asked Tsume. Sadly no, replied Tsunade. You're not planning on leaving after this, are you? Asked one of the counselors. I am, I only came back for Kushina and make sure Naruto was healthy, answered Tsunade, but I'm going to take her with me, as I don't trust anyone but me to take care of her. But what about Naruto? Asked Hiruzen. He's going to want his mother when he finds out her condition if she doesn't wake soon. That's a good point, sensei. I guess until he's old enough, have him grow up in the apartment complex that the Uzumakis own, and when he asks about his parents, tell him that his mother is still alive but is in a coma at the time, and that is why she's not around, suggested Tsunade. I'll stay for the first year or so before heading back out to the field, added Jiraiya, just to make sure he's properly taken care of. I am his godfather after all. You better not try to turn him into a pervert, Jiraiya threatened Tsunade. Hushnia would kill me, or worse if I did that. Exclaimed Jiraiya as he paled just thinking about what she would do to him for turning her son into a pervert. Alright, until Naruto comes of age or Kushina wakes up, Naruto will be raised in the Uzumaki apartments, said Hiruzen. Furthermore, no one is to speak about Naruto having the Kyuubi sealed into him or his parentage under penalty of death. We don't want our enemies to know what became of the Kyuubi or Minato's enemies trying to kill Naruto for being his son. Also, no harm is to come to Naruto, physical or mental, doing so will result in severe punishment, warned Hiruzen. Now let's move on to assessing the damages and counting the dead, said Hiruzen. Well, here's your home for the foreseeable future, Naruto said Jiraiya as he arrived at the Uzumaki apartments. The Uzumaki apartments are two 5-story buildings that are towards the center of Konoha, Leaf, that were at right angles to each other on a street corner. Both were white with oak wood frames and low walls separating the grounds from the road, with a gate having the Uzumaki swirl over the entrance. The second building was further back, with the entrance of the building lining up to the wall of the main one. When the people who lived in the buildings heard that Naruto was going to live there, almost all of them moved out, saying that they don't want to live with the demon container. Much to Jiraiya's ire, though there wasn't anything he could do about it, as he was hoping for Naruto to make friends with the children that lived there. Well, since Naruto owns this place, whatever he wants to do with the extra rooms is up to him, noted Jiraiya. I should probably set up my own room at some point for when I'm in town, seeing how my apartment was destroyed in the attack. With all my research, cried Jiraiya as he crumpled to his knees and began an I'm crying while still holding Naruto in his arms. 3 years later. The last few years since the Kyuubi attack have been rather quiet for Konoha. The dead were put to rest, building rebuilt, the Uchihas being blamed for the attack, making them rather annoyed with the rest of the village. Of course, there is still the threat from Kumo and Iwa lurking in the background. In Naruto's case, growing up with Jiraiya so far has been interesting to say the least. Naruto was able to walk and talk by two and was a wild blur of energy that could hide pretty well a kid his age, requiring Jonin to find him. Another thing is that Naruto still doesn't know about the Kyuubi, as no one really wants to talk about it around him. During the 3 years, both Jiraiya and Kakashi moved into the Uzumaki apartments main building to keep an eye on Naruto better, Jiraiya on the 4th floor and Kakashi on the 2nd. Thankfully, there weren't threats to Naruto's life in this time, even though every time Jiraiya took Naruto out to play at the park, parents pulled their children away in fear and hate. Naruto of course was oblivious to this so far, which was a relief to Jiraiya and Hiruzen, as they weren't ready to tell him why the villagers didn't like him. This didn't mean Naruto didn't have any friends, as Jiraiya did take him to the clans that were on his side to play with their kids. Naruto would feel out of place when he went to the Hyugas, as they were a very strict and proper clan, not that it stopped him from going there most of the time, as he really enjoyed Hinata's company. This leads to current events, as the leader of Kumoe has sent a peace treaty, as well as his head ninja to sign it. This made the people of Konoha really happy, as this meant that hostilities would end, and maybe even something similar to the alliance with Suna. Sadly, the peace treaty was a cover for Kumo to try to kidnap a Hyuga for their special Dujujutsu, the Byakugan, and create their own clan of powerful Dujujutsu users. Of course, while the head ninja was in Konoha, he had dinner with all the clans, leaving the Hyugas last, so he could kidnap a Hyuga child and leave right away. What he didn't count on was Jiraiya being in town at the time, making the mission all the harder to complete. Now Naruto, don't forget to be on your very best behavior tonight, warned Jiraiya as he led Naruto to the Hyuga's clan compound. Why? Asked Naruto, who was too excited to notice the glares he was getting. Because Kumo's head ninja will be there tonight before he heads back home to his village, answered Jiraiya. You don't think he'll try something, will he? Asked Naruto innocently. There's always a chance that might happen, it's why I'm leaving some toads behind to help keep an eye on things, replied Jiraiya. When will get to summon a toad? Asked Naruto. When you graduate from the Ninja Academy, answered Jiraiya. I've told you this before numerous times, Naruto. Welcome Lord Jiraiya, said Hyuga as Jiraiya and Naruto approached the Hyuga clan compound. Thanks, nodded Jiraiya. Now Naruto, don't go bothering the Kumo nin. The party in honor of the peace treaty soon took place after Jiraiya dropped Naruto off. During that time Naruto spent most of party staying back and hanging out with Hinata and her cousin Neji. The Kumo nin did notice Naruto, but didn't think much of him, being told that Naruto was just one of Hinata's few friends form outside the clan when he asked about him. So Neji, how's your training going? Asked Naruto. I've just started not that long ago, Naruto, but father says I'm making great progress, replied Neji. I wish I could learn the gentle fist, whined Naruto. Only those that have the Byakugan can effectively use the gentle fist, said Neji. Right, you three, time for bed, said Hisashi, Neji's father and Hinata's uncle. Oh well, but I'm not tired, whined Naruto, just before letting out a big yawn. Right off to bed, now, said Hisashi. Neji, stay with them, just in case. Of course father, complied Neji. Later that night, after everyone had gone to bed, the Kumo nin snuck into the Hyuga compound to kidnap Hinata. Little did he know that there were two others in her room, or that Jiraiya had some toads keeping an eye on him for anything funny. I don't know what's so special about these eyes, I mean they haven't even noticed me, whispered the Kumo nin to himself. The man quickly found Hinata's room and snuck in through the window and grabbed her and ran off, not noticing that he had also grabbed Naruto as well, as they both fell asleep in each other's arms. Neji, who had to use the bathroom at the time, came back into the room and saw that his cousin and Naruto were missing. Father. Uncle. Hinata and Naruto are missing. Yelled Neji as he ran towards where his father slept. What? Yelled Hisashi, and he burst out of his room. It's true, when I got back to the room after needing the bathroom both of them were gone and the window wide open, explained Neji. Stay here while me and your father go looking for them, said Hisashi, who was livid. Meanwhile the Kumo nin suddenly realized that he had picked up another child when Naruto woke up and noticed the situation he and Hinata were in and yelled out and began to struggle, waking Hinata in the process. Help. Somebody got me and Hinata. Fuck. How the heck did I miss picking up another twerp, swore the Kumo nin. No matter, Kumo could always use more ninjas. Naruto's scream alerted all the nearby ninjas as well as the toads to what was going on and their location. Lord Jiraiya, that Kumo nin took Naruto as well as Hinata. Why he did I'm not sure, Kumo doesn't know about him having the Kyuubi sealed into him or who his parents are, informed Hisashi. I'm not sure either, but he's going to regret taking my godson, I can promise you that, said Jiraiya. As the Kumo nin kept running, Naruto used his Poseton to punch the man square in his family jewels as hard as he could, forcing the man to drop him and Hinata in pain. You know what, I was just going to keep running and leave you two alone, but now I'm going to make you pay for that, snarled the Kumo nin as he went for a kuni knife. I won't let you take us. Yelled Naruto in defiance. Like you have a choice, brat, snarled the man as he went to make his move, only to be stopped by a swift punch to the face by an enraged Jiraiya, who said, I think differently. Now we'll see just your little game, was said Hisashi as he used a 62 palms on the man to knock him out, but due to how angry he was instead killed him. This is going to not end well, noted Jiraiya. With him dead instead of alive, we can't find out what Kumo's plan was. Plus A can deny everything as well. Forgive me, Lord Jiraiya, I guess in my rage I wasn't thinking clearly enough to not kill him, apologized Hisashi. Come on, let's get these two back home safe, said Jiraiya as he picked up the two children. Yes, let's, agreed Hisashi as he took Hinata into his own arms. I'm glad Naruto has just a strong set of lungs on him to let us find them so easily. Indeed, I suspect Naruto is going to want to start his training after this so he can protect those precious to him better, said Jiraiya as the two men started walking home. Hinata as well, though I fear she may not perform as well as Neji due to her kind nature, replied Hisashi. Who knows, but I've got to get back out into the field soon, said Jiraiya. If I was, I could have kept this from happening in the first place. Maybe, but you have helped ease some of the tension of the Uchihas while you've been here, noted Hisashi. True, but we still don't know who took control of the Kyuubi that night, and as far as we know only an Uchiha can develop that kind of ability, said Jiraiya. At least I know which families are in the clear so far, but with so many it's hard to clear them all. Yeah, it's late, I wish you good night and good luck, said Hisashi as he broke off towards his home. Jiraiya was correct in thinking that Naruto would want to start his ninja training after that night. Of course, being only 3, Jiraiya had him start with very light exercises and learning how to read and write, as well as other important things he would need to know, like math, science and how to take care of himself. Now Naruto, I'm going to be leaving soon to manage my spy network and make sure something like what happened with that Kumonin doesn't happen again, alright, Jiraiya told Naruto after a hard day of teaching him how to read and write. But I don't want you to go. Cried Naruto. Don't worry, Kakashi will be here to watch over you while I'm gone, assured Jiraiya, plus whenever I'm in town I'll come visit you. Okay, said Naruto sadly, but don't you worry, I'll make you proud. I'll learn everything there is. Good to hear, just be careful as not everyone will be so keen on teaching you things like me or Kakashi, warned Jiraiya. Then I'll be extra sneaky about it. Announced Naruto, that way they'll never catch me. Ha. I know you're really good at hiding, Naruto, but please be careful and don't go snooping in places you shouldn't, said Jiraiya. Right. Agreed Naruto. Soon after, Jiraiya left to go back to the field, knowing that Naruto would be safe with Kakashi living in the same building as him and all the protection seals that were etched all across the buildings by Naruto's ancestors. A year after Jiraiya left was largely uneventful. Naruto started noticing the looks people gave him and wondered why that was. In response to this, he began reading all the books he could get his hands on, except for a set of little orange books that Jiraiya forbade Naruto from reading, stating that if a certain person found out, he'd be a dead man walking. Naruto's love of knowledge hasn't hindered by the fact that the library prevented his entry, as he would sneak in after hours and read. This led him to start sneaking into the clan libraries as well to see what they might hold, not that he realized that it was wrong to do so, as he didn't know they were off limits to non-clan members at first. Once he did, he began copying the information down for his own use, as well as pillaging the trash, as most of the clans just copied their old and worn scrolls and then tossed them out the night before the trash was collected. Naruto also started watching various ninjas train and picked up on a lot of jujutsu and fighting styles that he wanted to learn eventually, including the Shadow Clone ninjutsu. Naruto had the left half from the entrance of the third floor converted into his own personal library, with the right half becoming his Fuinjutsu workroom, as Naruto became interested in learning Fuinjutsu and was very happy to learn that he could start learning that almost right away, as it requires perfect penmanship to work correctly. By the time Naruto was 5, he had learned the henge, as well as the Shadow Clone, but kept the second one secret from everyone else. Naruto also was taught some of the Gentle Fist as thanks for his part in saving Hinata by Hiashi. Speaking of Hiashi, things went badly for him, just like Jiraiya said they would, as Aide demanded his head for killing his head ninja, otherwise war would be waged. Hiashi was more than willing to give himself up, but his twin brother Hisashi took his place by his own free will. This caused Neji to become bitter and fatalistic, as well as resent both Naruto and Hinata, much to Hiashi's dismay. The day was just another day in Konoha, with a now 5-year-old Naruto going home from having lunch at his favorite ramen bar, Ramen Ichiraku, when he was ambushed by a large number of overly drunk ninjas and villagers. "Hey Luki, what, we found the demon out on his own," sneered of the drunkards. "Hey, let's finish what the fourth started and end the little fiend," shouted one of the drunk shinobi, completely forgetting that doing so would cause their lives to be forfeit, as he threw a kuni at Naruto, who barely moved out of the way. "Leave me alone. What did I ever do to you?" cried Naruto as he ran away, forgetting where his home was in his panic. "At him!" yelled the drunkards as they chased Naruto, throwing anything that they could get their hands on at him as they ran. Naruto ran as fast as he could, but couldn't quite avoid getting hit by some of the items being thrown at him. Naruto was soon trapped in a dead-end alley with no way for him to escape. "Now demon, we get our revenge for what you did to us," yelled one of the drunks victoriously as the large group descended upon the hapless Naruto, who barely protected himself from some truly nasty injuries. As the group assaulted Naruto, their numbers quickly started being killed off by an enraged Inu, Kakashi, along with his Anbu team. When the drunks noticed that they were being killed, they tried to run, but were stopped by the third Hokage, who prevented them from escaping their fate as they had broken the law. "Inu, take Naruto to the hospital as fast as you can, I'll join you as soon as I can," ordered Hiruzen. He then thought, "I hope you aren't affected too badly by this, Naruto." "Well, this was not how I wanted us to meet," the Kyuubi says as he sees Naruto's unconscious form in front of him. "Well, this was not how I wanted us to meet," says the Kyuubi. "Now all I have to do is wait for him to awake." "Ugh, where am I?" questioned Naruto as he wakes up and sees where he is. "Deep within your own mind," answers a deep voice. "Huh?" exclaims Naruto in alarm as he turns to face the source of the voice. "Ah. Kyuubi," screams Naruto when he sees the Kyuubi behind him in a cage. "Stop screaming so loud, you're giving me a headache," complains the Kyuubi. "How are you even alive? The fourth killed you?" demanded Naruto. "Oh come now, did really believe that?" asked Kyuubi critically. "Well no, I've never really did," answered Naruto. "I've always had a feeling that it wasn't true, but if that's true, then what happened?" "I won't go into the full details right now, but I will tell you that shortly after your birth I was ripped out of your mother and forced to attack Konoha," explained the Kyuubi. "For you see, you're the third person I've been sealed into." The first being the wife of the first Hokage, Mito Uzumaki, who then transferred me into your mother at the end of her life. Sealed into, so that's why the villagers are so mean and why those men attacked me, noted Naruto. It's all your fault. No, corrected Takayubi, it's the man in the spiraled mask who ripped out of your mother and forced me to attack Konoha, fault, not mine. Why should I believe you, snapped Naruto. Honestly, I don't know why you should, and you have every right to be angry with me for all the bad things that have happened to you, admitted Takayubi. That's up to you. Well, tell me this, did my parents actually love me or just abandon me, asked Naruto. Your parents were thrilled when they found out they were having you, as was I, answered Takayubi. Sadly, your father died that night. Your mother on the other hand fell into a coma and is being taken care of by a distant relative of yours until she wakes back up. If that's the case, then why haven't I been told or seen them before? Demanded Naruto. The person taking care of your mother can't stand to stay in Konoha due to her having some rather bad memories of losing her loved ones to war and took her with as she didn't trust the medical staff to properly take care of her, answered Takayubi. She was Jiraiya's teammate Tsunade. Oh, said Naruto in a small voice, as during the entire exchange, he didn't detect any lies from the Kyuubi as he was really good at detecting lies and deception. Once you awake, tell the third about meeting me as he knows that I wasn't in control that night and is trustworthy, explained the Kyuubi. Did you knew all this time? Said Naruto in shock. He does, you just never ask him, deadpanned the Kyuubi, although I will admit he never gave you any hints to lead you concluding about my true fate. After a few minutes to process everything, Naruto came to conclusion that he wasn't quite sure what to make of the Kyuubi at the time and that he really needed to speak to the Hokage to get a clearer picture of his situation. Hey, how do I get out of here anyway? Asked Naruto. Simply focus on returning to the waking world and the same is true for when you wish to return, answered the Kyuubi. Thanks, I guess, replied Naruto as he began concentrating on leaving his mindscape. So how is he? Asked Hiruzen once he reached Naruto's room at the hospital. He'll fine, Lord Hokage, none of his injuries were severe, replied the doctor. Of course, there's his advanced healing factor that he gets from both his heritage and burden, so he was mostly healed by the time the Anbu brought him here. That's good to hear, noted Hiruzen. Though Naruto might have met the Kyuubi due to this, I hope he isn't too upset for me and Jiraiya not telling him about his burden. Hokage sir, do you think Naruto met you? Asked Inu Kakashi. There is a good chance for that to have happened, I'm just worried on how he'll react afterwards, replied a worried Hiruzen. I'm sure he'll understand, sir, Naruto is a smart boy, assured Kakashi, probably even a genius. I'm sure he is, agreed Hiruzen. Of course I'm sure he's going to hide it to make others underestimate him. What both Hiruzen and Kakashi didn't know was that Naruto had woken up at the start of their conversation and heard everything, so when he said, "You're right, Gigi, I'm not going to show off my smarts and strength," it gave the two men a start. Naruto, you're alright, said Hiruzen with relief. As well as I can be after finding out about the Kyuubi, replied Naruto with a deadpan look. Both men begin to look sheepish from being called out and keeping the Kyuubi a secret from Naruto. I hope you're not upset about it, Naruto, it's just that the Kyuubi has been a hard topic for us to talk about ever since that night, explained Hiruzen. It's alright, Gigi, I can understand why you didn't tell me about the Kyuubi, said Naruto with a frown. Well, what will you do now? Asked Hiruzen. Nothing different, Gigi, replied Naruto. I still want to be a ninja and become Hokage like you. That's good to know, said Hiruzen. Just take it easy for now and wait till you're fully recovered to start training again. Hey Naruto, are there any Judas you know yet? Asked Kakashi. Yeah. I know the henge, replied Naruto happily while keeping back he knows the shadow clone as well. That's impressive for someone your age, but is that all you know? Asked Hiruzen knowingly. I might have figured out how to use something called the shadow clone jutsu not that long ago, but I can only make 2, but get tired from it, yet the guy I saw made like 5 at once with no problem. Kakashi was shocked that Naruto figured out how to use a Jonin level forbidden technique at such a young age. Naruto, you are aware that the shadow clone is a Jonin level move, right? Asked Kakashi. No, I didn't, replied Naruto with some awe on his face. Yes, and there is something else that the shadow clone does, said Hiruzen. What? Asked Naruto. Shadow clones have the ability to transfer all the knowledge they have gained back to their creator upon dispelling, explained Hiruzen, but I suggest you get your chakra reserves up before you try using that jutsu again. But the more I use it, the better I get with it and increase my reserves at the same time, argued Naruto. He's right, you know, Lord Hokage, added Kakashi. Alright, you can use it, said Hiruzen, but only under Inu's or Kakashi's watch until I say otherwise. Fine, whined Naruto. 4 months later. Soon after Naruto got out of the hospital, he got to work on his chakra control and learning the other 2 academy jutsus, the Kumari and normal clone jutsu. All under the watchful eye of Kakashi. Hey Kakashi sensei, do you think you could be my sensei when I become a ninja? Asked Naruto. I've already put in my request, replied Kakashi. Now I've got to go take care of one more mission for the Anbu before I become a regular jonin again. Just be safe Kakashi Nai said Naruto. Don't worry I will, it's only a rank A mission assured Kakashi. Hey Kakashi you teach me a new jutsu when you get back? Asked Naruto. If you can master the other 2 academy jutsus by the time I get back answered Kakashi. You're on? Kakashi Nai. Exclaimed Naruto with excitement. Well good luck with that, I'll see you when I get back said Kakashi as he left thinking of course with the amount of chakra you have, I imagine the regular clone jutsu will be very hard for you to learn. Alright, let's get started announced Naruto as he called up 4 shadow clones, he could do up to 12, but that would leave him drained and unable to train. Alright you 2 work on learning the Kumari, and you 2 work on the regular clone ordered Naruto, while I practice with my seals. Naruto was still a beginner with seals, but he was able to make simple storage and small explosion seals. Of course for any normal kid that was nearly 6 years old that would be incredible, but for in Uzumaki that's rather normal as the clan was world-renowned for their sealing arts. Naruto headed to his seals workshop to begin practicing how to make flash seals and illumination seals, as well as a seal to instantly cook instant ramen. At the end of the day Naruto dispelled the clones and found that while he was making progress with learning the Kumari, but was getting nowhere with learning the normal clone jutsu. He also figured out how to make light come from a seal, but it was very dim and useless for what he was going for, but held on to the design in case they might come in handy someday. Naruto though did manage to create a seal for cooking purposes, just not as fast as he wanted. Alright I think that was some good work today, now for dinner and a little poking around to see what new jutsus or knowledge I can glean said Naruto as he gathered up some food to make a very simple pork and rice dinner. Later that night Naruto headed out under the cover of night wearing black cloths that had a hood to cover his blonde hair, he also wore a black mask to cover his face as well to make it harder for people to identify him. Alright let's see what I can find tonight whispered Naruto to himself as he arrived at the Nara clan compound. Naruto spent little over an hour snooping around and found quite a few things, as Naras were one of the most lazy clans and tended to leave things out when they felt it to be too troublesome to put stuff away. What a good haul, a lot of good books and scrolls on the medicine they make, plus 2 technique scrolls noted Naruto when he got home and to his library, now let's see which ones they are. Alright the Shadow Imitation Jutsu and Shadow Wave Jutsu read Naruto the Shadow Imitation is the very base for all their other clan jutsus, while the Shadow Wave is an offensive one. Huh, I didn't take the Naras as the type to use offensive moves, oh well they should learn to put things away more often. Little did Naruto know the 3rd Hokage was aware of Naruto's little escapades into the clans, but didn't say anything as he felt that if a child could sneak into a clan and manage to swipe their jutsus, then he deserved them as if he was an enemy he could have easily killed some of them. It also showed him just how lax the security of his village had become and needed to be fixed quickly before something bad happens. As you can see Naruto has already gathered quite a bit of knowledge from some of the other clans already. Hiruzen told Shikaku Nara, the head of the Nara clan, as he showed the man Naruto sneaking around his home with his crystal ball. This is troublesome, I'm sure Naruto will try to teach himself those moves noted Shikaku. He most likely will at some point, though he isn't going to show off that he knows them or pass of his gathered knowledge to others replied Hiruzen. Man, if a nearly 6-year-old can go around and sneak into various clans just to gain some knowledge off of them and succeed then our security standards must be dropping, said Shikaku with a sigh. Indeed, though your clan is the first major clan he's done this with, if you don't count the Hyuga said Hiruzen. What do you mean by that? Asked Shikaku who was intrigued. The Ashi was secretly given Naruto a couple of his clan scrolls and showed him the basics of the gentle fist as thanks for his part in saving Hinata and helping her believe in herself when the clan elders don't and tell her as much answered Hiruzen of course, he'll deny everything if you ask him, except the gentle fist part as enough people know he did that already. Well as long as he doesn't use them against us, I don't have a problem said Shikaku plus, I knew someone was going around taking things from the lesser clans and that they were most likely going to target my clan next, which is why I came to you. I just didn't expect it to be Naruto. Yes Naruto is quite gifted in the art of infiltration and information gathering, said Hiruzen of course he also knows that due to how the public opinion of him is rather poor, he decided to keep his true strength and intelligence hidden, except to those that he trusts to keep it a secret until when he takes part in the Chunin exams. Should I go tell the Yamanaka and Akimchi clans of this? As they are my clan's closest allies asked Shikaku. Not yet, I plan on letting Naruto know that I'm aware of his activities and plan on having him take on some top secret missions to test our defenses with him getting paid for his work as well as being allowed to keep anything that he finds as long as it won't cause damage to wherever he goes, replied Hiruzen. Sounds like Naruto is going to be rather busy soon noted Shikaku. Yes, and once he becomes a ninja those missions will be added to his mission records as B rank, said Hiruzen. Well, I need to get home, I'm going to start teaching that lazy son of mine his first clan jutsu tomorrow, said Shikaku. Tell me how Naruto takes it when you get the chance. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll figure it out, assured Hiruzen with a chuckle. Anbu, please let Naruto know that I would like for him to see me tomorrow at his easiest convenience. Hi, Lord Hokage, replied the Anbu that were hidden in the room. You wanted to see me, Jiji? Asked Naruto as he entered the Hokage's office. Yes, there is something I need to talk to you about, replied Hiruzen. What? Asked Naruto, who was confused. Tell me, do you know what this is? Asked Hiruzen as he placed his crystal ball in the desk in front of him. No, not really, answered Naruto, though he had a fairly good idea what it did. Well, this crystal ball lets me keep an eye on the village whenever I wish, and do you know what I've been seeing during the night for some time? Explained Hiruzen. Naruto's eyes went wide as Hiruzen just told him he knew of him going into clan compounds to glean as much information as he could. Now Naruto, you are aware that such behavior is very wrong, right? Asked Hiruzen. No, not really, Jiraiya just said not to go into places I shouldn't, and the clans are fairly open to letting people go around their compound, except the Hyugas and Uchihas, replied Naruto sheepishly. Then why do you head into them at night? Asked Hiruzen. Because there isn't anyone to give me dirty looks or whisper things behind my back, answered Naruto. Well, your logic isn't very good for your actions, reprimanded Hiruzen, but it does give us a unique situation for us to exploit. What do you mean, Jiji? Asked Naruto. Well, your actions have shown just how bad our security has gotten around the clan compounds and gives me worry for our more sensitive locations, explained Hiruzen. So what I want you to do is sneak around the village, continuing what you're doing, but also to pull pranks as a way to show how bad our security has gotten. Will I get paid for it? Asked Naruto. Yes, they'll be considered B rank missions in terms of pay and your mission records, but they will be top secret with only those in Anbu knowing about them, answered Hiruzen with a smile. You mean I get to get back at all those stupid villagers who can't see that I'm not the Kyuubi? Asked Naruto. Yes, you will, said Hiruzen, and with your intelligence I'm sure they'll never know what hit them. I'll do it. Exclaimed Naruto, but does anyone know what I've been doing? Besides the Anbu that personally protect me, the head of the Nara clan was with me yesterday while you were snooping around his home. Not that he minded too much as he saw the same thing I did with security and how bad of a risk it is of how easy it is to get into most of the clan compounds. Right now the two clans that are allies with them are going to be aware, complained Naruto. He hasn't told them yet on my suggestion as I told him to wait until I tell him otherwise to tell them, said Hiruzen. I know my first prank victim, chuckled Naruto evilly. Oh Kami, I think he got his mother's pranking skill and drive, thought Hiruzen with extreme worry. May Kami have mercy on whoever wrongs Naruto. And boy was Hiruzen right to worry, for as soon as Naruto got home, he started practicing on mastering the shadow clone so he could pull his pranks and infiltration on a much larger scale. 3 weeks later Shikaku found that all of his cloths and water was filled with an itching mixture that lasted for 2 days. He didn't find out who did it until Naruto graduated from the Ninja Academy. After the itching powder move, Naruto waited 2 weeks before he started publicly pulling pranks that ranged from the simple to the elaborate and became known as a prank master of Konoha, the likes that haven't been seen since his own mother when she was his age. Naruto also started sneaking into various facilities from the T&I department, Anbu headquarters to the hospital and library. He also went to most of the clan compounds and managed to copy off a large amount of their history and judas for his own personal library. Naruto even went as far as swiping things from visiting ninjas that were there for the Chunin exams and gained quite a bit off of them, even going so far as to go into the forest of death to loot the dead. Waste not, want not, and all that. By the time Naruto was 6 years old and ready to join the Ninja Academy, he had learned and mastered the following jutsus. The Shadow Clone Jutsu and could make up to 2500 clones at once, henge up to the point that his transformations became solid. Shadow Imitation Jutsu, though not as well as a Nara of the same age. Fireball Jutsu, Great Breakthrough Jutsu, Shadow Wave Jutsu, Kamari, Mind Transfer Technique and Shadow Kuni Shuriken Jutsu. Kakashi also returned during this time and wasn't surprised that Naruto didn't learn the normal clone jutsu, but was shocked to learn what the Hokage got Naruto to get into pranks and encouraged his late-night escapades. Naruto was happy to find that Kakashi returned from his mission unharmed, successful. But was sad when he told him that he just couldn't learn the basic clone jutsu yet. Kakashi assured him that he'll get it eventually. Hey Kakashi Nai, is there a way to find out my elemental affinity? Asked Naruto after he spent the day getting ready for the start of the academy the next day. You're a little young to be learning elemental manipulation, Naruto, but if you really want to know I can get you some chakra paper so you can find out after school tomorrow, alright? Replied Kakashi. Okay. Well, good night Kakashi Nai, said Naruto as he gave Kakashi a hug before heading back to his penthouse flat at the top of the building. It's the entire 5th floor. The day was the first day of the Ninja Academy, a rather interesting time for the village, as it's one of the loudest as new students try to show off anything they might know, or it could be the noise made by the rush of the new students trying to be the first ones there. Who knows? This morning however we find Naruto in his king-sized 4-poster bed sleeping away as he is currently in his mind talking with the Kyuubi as he's come to mostly trust him and has been talking with him for the last few months rather frequently. So excited for school? Asked the Kyuubi. Of course, though I'm not sure if I should show them anything or not, replied Naruto. I think for now it would be best to not show them anything yet as they don't know what you can do, plus I'm sure the teachers are going to sabotage your schooling anyway. They can advise the Kyuubi that way when you do show them you know something it'll come as a surprise. Plus I get to prank them for it in the meantime. I just wish I could learn the stupid regular clone, said Naruto. One of your clan's normal weakness was casting illusions due to their larger chakra reserves at a young age, said the Kyuubi. Of course they had a way to counter and break said illusions if any were cast on them. How did they do that? Asked Naruto. Chakra pulse, though they could found a way to use it for other purposes. I'll let you figure it out on your own, answered the Kyuubi. Well, I got to go and get ready for school, said Naruto. Going to wear that orange monstrosity? Asked the Kyuubi. Yep, but once I get those seals to change the color of cloths and make them last longer, I'll use it for more colder weather, answered Naruto. I could help you with it, you know, I'm rather good with Fuinjutsu myself, offered the Kyuubi. Sorry, but no, I'd rather learn things myself, replied Naruto as he left his mind. When is he going to fully trust me and accept my help? Pondered the Kyuubi. It's boring here not being able to see the outside world. Naruto quickly made it to school and met up with a few friends he did have. Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, Shikamaru Nara and Choji Akimichi. Hey guys, excited to start learning how to be awesome ninjas? Asked Naruto as he got close. You bet we are. Yelled Kiba. I don't know, it's too troublesome to think about, said Shikamaru lazily. Hey, got your shogi board? Asked Naruto. Hey yeah, figured you'd ask, replied Shikamaru. See, shortly after meeting Shikamaru, Naruto found the best way to get his attention was to play board games like Shogi and Go. Not that Naruto has managed to win against Shikamaru yet, but he's gotten close quite a number of times recently. Hey, who do you think will be top dog? Asked Kiba. Out of us, I'd say Naruto, answered Shikamaru, if we went with true strength that is. Let's not let anyone know about me doing that there, Shikamaru, said Naruto. Doing what? Asked Shino Aburam from behind the group. Ah! Screamed Naruto as he leapt into the air. How'd you sneak up on us? I didn't, you just didn't notice me pass by, corrected Shino. So again, what was it you were talking about doing? It's something between friends, said Naruto sheepishly. We might tell you at some point if we decide to trust you with our secret. Like how you've snooped around my home in the middle of the night? Asked Shino. Naruto got a stone-cold look to his face when he heard that. Don't worry, my father explained what you were up to so I didn't tell anyone, just please don't do again, said Shino. Thanks, I guess, said Naruto, who had the decency to look embarrassed. Alright, it's time to head inside and start class. Called Iruka Yumino, a new teaching assistant who, like most of the village, held a poor opinion of Naruto. However, unlike the rest of the staff at the school, Iruka was going to be a professional and try to treat Naruto like any other student. Naruto noticed the look Iruka gave him as he passed by, seeing the dislike in his eyes, but was doing his best to be kind towards him. This made Naruto decided to try to make Iruka let go of his hate and see him for who he was, and if he succeeded, fill him in on his plan for the academy. Alright class, let's get seated for roll call, said the teacher. As the teacher began reading off the list of students, Naruto noticed that his class is filled mostly of clan heirs. Naruto Uzumaki called the teacher, who thought, I can't be the Hokage allowed the demon to join our academy. I hope he is too stupid to even show up or know where the academy even is. Here, said Naruto in a flat tone as he could guess what the man was thinking and began thinking of a good prank to pull on him. Darn, he is here, guess I'll just have to make sure he dies on his first mission out of the village by teaching him the wrong things and keeping him out of class as much as possible, thought the teacher. Of course, doing so on the first day would be rather suspicious, better wait until tomorrow. Alright class, today we will be assessing your skill level and placing you in groups accordingly, the teacher told the class. Alright, first, we'll test your aim, said Iruka. Follow us outside to the training yard. When everyone got there, they all lined up with boys in one line and girls in another. The class soon began with most of the civilian students doing rather poorly and most of the clans doing rather well. Sasuke Uchiha, called the teacher. Sasuke went up to the table and grabbed 5 kuni and shuriken and tossed them at the targets, hitting most of them in the bullseye close. Good job, that's the best so far, praised the teacher. Naruto Uzume, called the teacher, though with less cheer than the rest of the class. Naruto went up, grabbed the weapons and tossed them wide, only hitting a few targets in the back and non-vital areas. Haha, with aim that bad I won't have to do anything to change it, thought the teacher with a dark glint in his eye. Iruka on the other hand noticed that Naruto deliberately missed as he used his right hand, not his left, as Iruka noted that he was left-handed and not right. I wonder what Naruto's game is, thought Iruka. After target practice the class went through some stretches to get ready for the physical test. During this part Naruto wasn't really able to hide how fit he was, but held back enough to place third overall behind Sasuke and Kiba. Next was Ninjutsu and Naruto completely failed in it as he still had no skill in casting or dispelling them. After that was Taijutsu where Naruto placed in the middle of the class due to him being too skilled in Taijutsu not to, though if he used the gentle fist he would have been among the top of his class. But that would have caused a panic and a lot of hassle for Hiashi for him teaching him the fighting style. Okay, so Naruto very much has no skill in illusions, but seems to know some Taijutsu or is hiding his real style, thought Iruka. Next was the ninjutsu test to see if any of the students knew any justice yet or not, then was the written test after that to see what they already knew. As it were, Naruto withheld from taking part of the ninjutsu test as he didn't want anyone to know he did know some already yet. And he failed the written test as well, just as he planned. Alright class, tomorrow we will have the list with your ranking posted on the wall next to the blackboard, said the teacher, right before the bell rang to let the class out for the day. Iruka decided to follow Naruto after school as he saw that Naruto was holding back for most of the tests and he wanted to know why. However, when he saw Naruto head into the Hokage's office, he decided to wait till he left to see what he wanted from the man. "Ah Iruka, it's nice to see you," greeted the Hiruzen. "What can I do you for?" "Can I ask what Naruto wanted, Lord Hokage?" asked Iruka. "Ah, I wondered what Naruto meant when he said he sensed someone tailing him here," said Hiruzen. "He knew I was following him?" asked Iruka in surprise. "Not you personally, but he did know someone was following him for some reason," answered Hiruzen. "Now care to tell me why that is?" "Well sir, I noticed that Naruto held back in most of his tests and wanted to know if you knew why," replied Iruka. I. Simple, Naruto is hiding his true strength as he knows that most of his teachers are against him and showing them his true power would cause a large fuss that he does not want me or anyone else to deal with, interrupted Hiruzen, giving Iruka a pointed look. "Wait, what do you mean most of his teachers?" asked Iruka. "It's not me to say, that's up to Naruto to tell you if he finds you worthy of his trust," answered Hiruzen, "and his trust can be rather hard to gain, especially when someone has a low opinion of him to begin with." "I see, well I better get going, I have to help with ranking the students," said Iruka. "Yes, you get back to that," said Hiruzen. Iruka spent the next few weeks trying to figure out just what the dead last Naruto thought of him. He knew that Naruto was hiding his true power, why that was still unclear. Iruka also took note of the various pranks Naruto would pull on people and saw a glimpse of his real skill level. "Hey Iruka-sensei, can I talk to you?" asked Naruto at the end of his school day. "Yes Naruto, what is that you want?" replied Iruka. "Whatever you do, don't go to the teacher's lounge this Friday," answered Naruto, "and don't tell any of the other teachers either." "Why?" asked Iruka. "Secret, can't say, it's all hush-hush," replied Naruto before heading home. "Okay," said Iruka as he went to the Hokage to ask him what Naruto meant. "I see," said Hiruzen after Iruka told him what Naruto told him. "Well, that means that Naruto is giving you tests to see if he can trust you or not. Seeing how he thinks very highly of you so far, I'm surprised he hasn't tested you already." "Naruto is testing me to see if he can trust me, why?" asked Iruka. "Simple, there aren't that many people he trusts. Naruto however does want more people that he can trust, but he isn't just going to give it out freely. No, Naruto will first see if someone is even worth trying to get them to see him for who he is, then most likely test them before giving that person his trust," explained Hiruzen, "which means you've made a good impression on him and he is willing to give you a chance to earn his trust. Which I might add is very valuable to whoever gains it. I'm honored that Naruto is willing to do so. Plus I see a little of myself in him in class," said Iruka. "Then you don't hold it against him for the Kyuubi attack?" asked Hiruzen. "No sir, Naruto is not the Kyuubi," answered Iruka. "I saw that within the first few days I met him. And that is the main reason why he is testing you. For you see, Naruto isn't going to bother with people who don't see him for who he is and searches for those that do or could be swayed easily to do so. Like with you," explained Hiruzen. "Wow, he noticed that, Naruto must be a lot better than he lets on," noted Iruka. "Pass his test and he'll show you his real strength and possibly even more," said Hiruzen. That Friday Iruka came in early and got the classroom set up and had breakfast in there instead of the teacher's lounge. He also didn't breath a word to his colleagues as he figured Naruto had a prank set up in there and he really wanted to see what it was. "So you believed me and didn't tell anyone but the old man," said Naruto as he appeared out from the far shadows of the room. Iruka had quite the start when Naruto did that as he completely didn't know he was there. "Naruto, how long have you been there?" Since an hour ago, answered Naruto with a shrug. Wasn't hard to get into the building, to be frank, the security stinks around here. I mean, kids, if they wanted to, could come in and alter their grades or those of their classmates. And did you do that? Asked Iruka with a glare. Are you mad? Gigi would have my head if I did that. Exclaimed Naruto in horror. I mean, he lets me do a bunch of other stuff scot-free, but not stuff like that. You mean those pranks you pull? Asked Iruka. That and some other stuff. Come to my home after school and I'll tell you what else I get to do and how strong and smart I really am. I know you figured out I've been holding back since day one, so it's only fair I let you see past the mask of a fool I wear in class, replied Naruto as he took his seat and pulled out a mid-level book on Fuinjutsu. He's into the sealing arts and is on a mid-level book already. Wow, that's impressive, thought Iruka. A few minutes later, as kids started gathering outside, a loud clamoring was heard coming from the teacher's lounge. Naruto suddenly melted into the shadows of the darkened room as none of the lights were on and the blinds were mostly closed. Iruka noticed that Naruto also masked his presences, making it hard to tell that he was even there in the first place. Iruka, have you seen Naruto anywhere? Demanded the headmaster as he barged in the room. Sorry, but no, I haven't seen him, replied Iruka as he took note that the headmaster was covered in orange paint that was in the same shade that Naruto's cloths were. Blast it all. Seeing how you're the only one that wasn't hit, you are going to take care of class today, ordered the headmaster. The other teachers weren't affected too badly and will be able to teach, but the teacher you help needs to go home to get cleaned. That's fine, replied Iruka calmly. I need the practice if I'm going to run my own class one day. See to it that Naruto is given this when you see him. I expect them to be done by Monday, said the headmaster as he gave Iruka a massive stack of papers. Iruka noticed that all of the papers were for students that were in their last year, but didn't say anything. Asshole, that'll get him an even worse prank, growled Naruto once the headmaster was gone. Sorry Naruto, but you're going to have to at least try to do it all, apologized Iruka. Meh, I have a way to get it taken care of, but I could use help getting them home, shrugged Naruto. Later that day, Naruto led Iruka to where he lived while both of them carried Naruto's massive pile of homework. Wow, this area looks better than where I live, noted Iruka. How is it that you live around here, Naruto? You'll see, replied Naruto. Naruto and Iruka soon arrived at the Uzumaki apartments. Alright, I'll bite. How can you afford this place? I heard the prices are obscured here, demanded Iruka. What's the name of this place again? Deadpan Naruto. The Yuzu, you own this place, don't you, said Iruka as he facepalmed, and I bet the prices aren't as bad as I've heard either. Got that right, the price is average for the area, said Naruto as they entered the main building. Not a lot of people live here sadly, mostly Anbu, Kakashi Nai and my godfather who's out of town. How many people live here in total? Asked Iruka. Well, this building has mostly been converted into my living or workspace. But that's the left side, on the right, in total about 12 people live here besides me currently. And in the other building, 0, answered Naruto. Wow, this place is amazing, said Iruka in awe as they entered the foray. The inside is in a rustic Victorian style, so very grand looking. Like it? Took me a couple of weeks to do it myself after learning carpeting and woodworking. Which took 2 months to learn, informed Naruto. How? Asked Iruka in shock. Shadow clones, answered Naruto as he created 2 as prof and told them, you two go take those papers and get to work on completing them. You know the shadow clone Justu? Asked Iruka in shock. Yep, saw someone do it when I was around 4 and learned it by the time I was 5, but it would knock me out till I was almost 6, answered Naruto. How many can you do at once? Asked Iruka. So far I can make up to 25 before I pass out, but I'm getting better, answered Naruto. I have some working on mastering various skills so that I don't have to go out and buy crap quality stuff at way higher prices if they'll even sell me anything. What are you working on currently? Asked Iruka. Follow me and I'll show you, said Naruto as he led Iruka past the stairs and to the left to a door that said blacksmith workshop and opened it. On the other side, Iruka could see that the entire first floor was converted into a massive work area that had a blacksmith area to one side and woodworking area at the far end, as well as about 10 Naruto clones working about the place. Wow, I did not expect you to be so versatile in your skill set, noted Iruka. Well, if having the Kyuubi sealed into me meant that I kinda have to become a ninja, otherwise I could go into another line of work if being a ninja doesn't work out, shrugged Naruto. You know about that? Winced Iruka. Known for about 2 years, some drunks beat me to a pulp and I wound up meeting him because of it, sadly, said Naruto. I see, well I hope you weren't tempted to let it out, said Iruka. The Kyuubi is a guy, Iruka, he doesn't like being referred to as an it, corrected Naruto. You don't talk to him, do you? Asked Iruka with a hint of fear. Sometimes, I'm not sure what to make of him yet. I do know, however, that he wasn't in control of himself that night, answered Naruto. How do you know that? Asked Iruka. Because I knew the Kyuubi before the attack as he was sealed into Naruto's mother before the attack and I was able to meet him with her and Sensei's help, said Kakashi from behind them. You've met him before. Why didn't you tell me Kakashi Nai? Demanded Naruto. It never came up, answered Kakashi. Anyway, I'm heading out for dinner tonight, so I'll see you in the morning. Alright Kakashi Nai, I guess I'll head to Ichiraku's for dinner, then said Naruto. How about I take you there, I enjoy them myself, offered Iruka. Alright Iruka, agreed Naruto, but I'm only going to let you buy me 2 bowls of ramen, don't want you to spend too much on me. Why do I get the feeling of extreme relief all of a sudden? Asked Iruka. Digi once paid for me and he had to raise the taxes for the next month to help recover the money he spent on the bill, answered Naruto. That's why that happened. Exclaimed Iruka in shock. Sweet Kami, how much did you eat? Like 45 bowls, answered Naruto sheepishly. I didn't feel that well afterwards though, guess that's what happens when you're told you can eat as much as you can and they're paying for everything. Iruka paled considerably as he imagined paying for that much ramen all at once. Got the title King of Gluttony for it afterwards, not sure if it was worth it though, said Naruto. Perhaps not, care to show me the rest of your home? Asked Iruka. Sure, follow me, replied Naruto. On the second floor Naruto showed Iruka that he was having science and medicine labs being set up very slowly as that type of stuff is expensive to get and maintain. The third floor was where Naruto said it was the division between the cheaper rooms from the nicer ones as the entire third floor was for his library and Fuinjustu workroom. How much stuff do you have in the library for it to be that big? Asked Iruka. Mostly the type of stuff you'd find in any regular library, then there's the restricted section where only I can go where I store my Justu scrolls and other sensitive information, answered Naruto. Only my godfather, Jiji and Kakashi, are allowed to go in there when they wish, anyone else I have to be with them personally to know what they're doing. So what's on the next floor? Asked Iruka. Fourth floor is all apartments with the fifth being my penthouse flat, answered Naruto. It's rather lonely up there with no one else living there, but if my godfather finds any of my clansmen then they'd live up there as well. Has he found any yet? Asked Iruka. He's got a lead on possibly 3 of them and once knew one before he disappeared, answered Naruto. He said his name was Nagato and that he lived with 2 other orphans in the Hidden Rain village at one point. How'd he disappear? Asked Iruka. Don't know, he said he got a letter from them saying they needed help and on the way was told by some guy named Danzo that they were dead, but he went ahead anyway. When he got there he couldn't find any trace of them, it was like they just simply vanished. Not even the toads could find them. It really upset him too, explained Naruto. Wait, the only person who uses toads is Jiraiya the Toad Sage, you're not telling me he's your godfather? Exclaimed Iruka in amazement. No duh, he is, the old pervert, my father was his best student and my parents named me after the main character of his first book, said Naruto with an annoyed yet playful look on his face. Father was his best stud, Iruka was saying before fainting when he realized who Naruto's father was. Wow, didn't see that coming, deadpanned Naruto. Ugh Naruto, I just had the craziest dream, I thought you were the son of the 4th Hokage, groaned Iruka as he came around, only to find Naruto holding a picture of the 4th next to his face, with a deadpan look. Oh, I guess I wasn't dreaming. Why haven't you told anyone yet? I don't want my old man's enemies coming for me, plus all the other crap I'd have to deal with claiming his name, answered Naruto. I'll just wait till mom wakes up from her coma and comes home before I claim it. Your mother is alive? Asked Iruka. I thought she was dead. Well, she should have, as the Kyuubi was ripped out of her the night I was born, but thanks to Tsunade being in town, she was able to survive the experience. So she's being taken care of by the best medical ninja in the land and that way no one has seen her, said Iruka. Yep, that's why no one has seen the Red Hot Habanero, or otherwise known as the Red Death, for all this time, said Naruto. Your mother was the Red Death, Kushina. Exclaimed Iruka, paling considerably. May Kami have mercy on the poor fools who have mistreated you when she wakes back up. No kidding, and I have some of her temper as well, said Naruto. I just show it off in the form of pranks and not physical retaliation. That'd cause a lot of problems and paperwork for Jiji. Doesn't he know how to overcome it? Asked Iruka. I think he forget or never figured it out himself, replied Naruto, but I'm going to hold it over his head till I need to use it as a bargaining chip. That is so evil, noted Iruka, but very clever. Don't I know it, agreed Naruto. Shortly after, Naruto showed Iruka that he was much more skilled than he let on. Iruka suggested to Naruto that he should take all the tests and work twice, one set being his cover for his real answers. Naruto said that it was a good idea and agreed. Also soon after, Iruka got to see the real Naruto. That Iruka was told by the Hokage that next year he would be taking over Naruto's class as the regular teacher filed to return to the field at the end of the year. Yet the teacher never actually did so and didn't find out about it until after the school year ended. Karma, dude, karma. As the school year went on, Naruto and some others began noticing tension starting to build in the air but couldn't figure out why. Naruto being who he was decided to find out, and who better than the police, as they are meant to have their finger on the pulse of the village better than the Anbu on most cases. So imagine his shock when he learns that it's the Uchihas, the ones who run the police force, are the ones causing the tense air of the village. And why is that? Because they have been planning a coup for some years now and are almost ready to go through with it. But Naruto took note that not all of the Uchihas were actually willing to go along with it. Naruto reported his finding to Hiruzen, where he learned that the Hokage was already aware of their plans from Itachi Uchiha, the eldest son of the head of the clan. "Digi, what are we going to do?" asked Naruto. "I'm not sure," Naruto answered Hiruzen. "I've tried to talk to Itachi's father on a peaceful resolution, but the man won't even see me, let alone hear me out. But the way things are going, then the village will be thrown into a civil war like the village hidden in the mist," said Naruto. "Can't he see that?" "Apparently not. If this keeps us, I may have to have them wiped out for the sake of the village," sighed Hiruzen. "But what about those who don't want to go through with the coup?" asked Naruto. "Can't say for certain," said Hiruzen. "I really can't say. I wish there was something I could do," said Naruto. "I don't want all of those who are loyal to die for the actions of the ones who are planning on betraying everything our village stands for." "Actually, there might," said Hiruzen as a sudden thought crossed his mind. "What?" asked Naruto. "I'll have to go through your blood work, but I think Minato's mother was an Uchiha that never obtained the Sharingan and such was disowned. Of course, as Uchihas don't like their prize to just to being held by those outside of their clan, planned on having her killed off quietly. However, rumor has it she had a child before her death with a man she married after she was disowned. Both have died in the attack, leaving their child an orphan, not knowing who their parents were or their heritage," explained Hiruzen. "You think my dad was that child?" asked Naruto. "There's a good chance, as Minato's parents were killed shortly after he was born and we only knew who his father was, not his mother, as he found him in his father's arms alone," answered Hiruzen. "I'm sure the Kyuubi wouldn't like that," noted Naruto. "He's had some bad experience with them." "True, but you're not an Uchiha," agreed Hiruzen, "even if it's proven their blood flows through you." "Then let's get that test taken care of," said Naruto. "I need a doctor's appointment anyway." At night, after Naruto's doctor's appointment, the Kyuubi called Naruto to speak to him. "What is it that you want to talk to me about?" asked Naruto. "I heard what you and the old man were talking about, so I took a look at your DNA to see if it was true or not," answered the Kyuubi. "And what did you find?" asked Naruto. "Well, it turns out that the old man was correct and your grandmother was an Uchiha," answered the Kyuubi nervously. "So, I'll be able to gain the Sharingan someday?" asked Naruto. "Not under the normal course of things," answered the Kyuubi. "I could make it so you can get it, but I'd have to alter your DNA to do that." "Exactly what is keeping me from gaining the Sharingan normally?" asked Naruto. "A mutation in your grandmother made it impossible to unlock the Sharingan under normal means, so while you might carry the Sharingan in your DNA, you yourself won't ever gain it. But I can fix that if you want," answered the Kyuubi. "Well, having the Sharingan would be nice. Is there any other bloodlines I have?" replied Naruto. "No, but I could give you one," replied the Kyuubi. "What kind would that be?" asked Naruto. "Well, I could give you Kitsune powers if you want them," answered the Kyuubi. "I mean, I am the lord of Kitsunes after all." "I'll think about it," replied Naruto, "but I have other things to worry about before that." "It's best when you are young, it'd hurt like hell otherwise," warned the Kyuubi. "I'll keep that in mind," said Naruto as he left his mindscape to head to Dreamland. A few weeks later finds Naruto sneaking into the Uchiha compound with an army of shadow clones and special blood clones that he just recently mastered creating with the help of seals so he could make so many in so little time. "Alright, you know your mission, get the good Uchihas out and the location of their best Injustu user Shisui so we could take his eyes for ourselves," ordered Naruto. "Naruto, why do you want his eyes?" asked the Kyuubi through the mental bond they recently formed with Naruto's consent. "I'll tell you when I get them," replied Naruto. "He isn't going to be easy to defeat, you know that, right?" said the Kyuubi. "Plus I thought he was one of the few Uchihas that weren't for the coup d'etat." "I know that, but he has an illness that's going to take his life in a few years. This way I release him from his pain and make sure his eyes are kept safe," replied Naruto. "It's not like I want to kill him in cold blood or something." Naruto chose tonight to go through his plan because tonight Itachi was to kill his entire clan for the sake of the village. Of course Sasuke was going to live, the man didn't have the heart to do it. Boy, Naruto was not looking forward to how Sasuke was going to act after this, not one bit. As the night wore on, Naruto's special blood clone swapped places with the good Uchihas, seeing that they were made from their blood and could easily take their place. Sneaking into the hospital has its advantages sometimes. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" asked Itachi when he caught him going into the clan archives. "Robbing your clan of virtually everything of value, seeing how you've killed just about every one of your clansmen. No one is going to notice me taking them, and if someone sees stuff missing, they'll think you took it all," answered Naruto. "The perfect crime." "And what if I tried to stop you?" asked Itachi as he tightened his grip in his bloody sword. Like you would, I know all about what's going on tonight and why you're doing all this, replied Naruto. You're the most clever person I've ever met, Naruto. I wish things could have turned out differently, said Itachi. So do I, but your father just wouldn't budge, replied Naruto. But anyway, do you know where Shisui is? Why? Asked Itachi. I know he shared your view on this whole ordeal, but I wanted to take his eyes as he was going to die soon from his illness anyway, answered Naruto. I'm afraid my father had attacked him the other day as he got wind of our plan to use Shisui's special eyes to end the coup. He got away, but asked me to take his eyes and keep them safe before he jumped into the river and drowned himself, said Itachi. Why do you want his eyes for? Dad's mother was that Uchiha who was disowned due to her not getting the Sharingan, which means I would have the ability to get it myself. But due to the mutation that kept her from getting it in the first place, I can't get it under normal circumstances, but the Kyuubi said he could fix that for me. Really now, then why try to get Shisui's eyes, asked Itachi. Oh, no reason, just that I created a special seal to fuse his eyes with my own. That way I get the Sharingan on my own, then have the Kyuubi fix the problem in my DNA, so my own kids could get it also. All in all, this means the Sharingan wouldn't die out if Sasuke dies for some reason, explained Naruto. Clever, little mumbled the Kyuubi when he heard that. Alright, here, said Itachi as he tossed Naruto a small jar that held 2 eyes in it. Those are Shisui's eyes, I know I can trust you to use them properly. Thanks, Weasel, I'll go get the ritual set up while you finish your mission. There can't be that many left, said Naruto as he ran off, but not before leaving 30 clones to raid the clan Justu library. You knew my Anbu name? Asked Itachi. I know who most of the Anbu are, don't tell them that, called Naruto as he kept running off. Don't worry, Naruto, I'm not going to tell anyone your true power to anyone, said Itachi as he went to finish his gruesome mission. Naruto soon found a quiet section of the Uchiha compound where Itachi already killed all the Uchihas in the area and began drawing out a very intricate circle around him to perform the ritual that would combine Shisui's eyes with his own. As Naruto finished the long string of hand signs and brought the eyes up to his own, the thought to the Kyuubi. Alright Kyuubi, you wanted to give me Kitsune powers, well now you can. You're aware of what will happen to you if I do this, right? Asked the Kyuubi. If you mean giving me Kitsune powers will make me part demon, right? Replied Naruto. Yes it would, answered the Kyuubi carefully. You're not mad about that, are you? No, just get it over with, I'll deal with the repercussions later, replied Naruto as he completed the sealing Justu. At the same time the Kyuubi began the transformation process. Ah! Screamed Naruto in pain, which with all the screams of death going on covered up his own. After a few minutes Naruto was able to stand and started making his way home as quickly as possible. Once home Naruto went straight to bed and passed out as soon as he slumped onto his bed. The next morning Naruto woke up 10:30 in the morning, sore as heck. Ugh, everything hurts, groaned Naruto. Well, considering what happened last night, I'm not surprised, said the Kyuubi. Hey, do you have an actual name? Asked Naruto. Kumara is my real name, answered Kumara. Thanks for finally asking me. Hey, sorry, replied Naruto. So what did you change last night exactly? Well, now you have a foxtail, and your ears are now fox-like to start, answered Kumara. Of course you are able to hide them rather easily, so you don't have to worry about that. No wonder my tailbone hurt so much, said Naruto. Anything else? Well, I tweaked your Sharingan a bit, so there are some noticeable differences between yours and Uchiha's, answered Kumara. Like what? Asked Naruto. First off, the eye color is different for one, and the main difference is when you see a new Justu you don't automatically learn or master it, you just get the basics to it. Which means you still have to properly learn the Justu yourself if you want to or not, plus you could possibly learn special elemental moves this way. The most important thing is how to unlock the final stage, but that's up to you to figure out, answered Kumara. Oh, I have a way for you to change other Sharingans to be like your own in a ritual similar to the one where you absorbed Shusui's. Alright, that's good to know, said Naruto. I could use it on those Uchihas I saved. But you could, but do you know how Uzumakis are meant to look? Replied Kumara. Plus you don't know if they would want to or not, I mean you haven't spoken to them yet. Oh crud, you're right. Cried Naruto. I better make sure they're safe and sound. Naruto quickly ran to the main room of his flat and found all the adult Uchihas he saved waiting for him. Care to explain what we're doing here? Asked one of the very few adults of the group of 20. I saved you from suffering the same fate as the rest of your traitorous clansmen, answered Naruto. But God, you mean we'd all be dead if it wasn't for you? Exclaimed the man in horror. Correct, I also have learned who my grandmother was from Jiji and my burden, replied Naruto. Who was she? Asked Mikoto Uchiha, Sasuke's mother and best friend to Naruto's own. She was that one Uchiha that never unlocked the Sharingan, but that was due to a mutation in her DNA that I just recently corrected, answered Naruto. I wasn't a fan for what happened to her, but I'm glad she was able to have a family. no matter how short it was, said Mikoto. But what do you mean recently corrected? The Kyuubi fixed a problem, but in order to do so had to change some things around, answered Naruto. I see, and what exactly would that be? Asked Mikoto calmly, even though the other adults flinched. I became a half-demon, answered Naruto as he revealed his new form. Well, that's new, noted Mikoto. Hey, when can we go home? Asked one of the other Uchihas. There's a bit of a problem with that, said Naruto as he explained the events of last night to them as well as the special ritual he could perform once he finds his mother. The Uchihas were saddened about how everyone now thinks that they're dead, but at least now they could start anew. Mikoto, however, was saddened about how Sasuke thinks she's dead and won't be able to raise him anymore. Digi should be here later, I'm sure we can figure something out, assured Naruto. You're very mature for your age, you know that. Noted Mikoto. I know, but I think for now everyone should change their appearance so people don't recognize you when you go out in public, replied Naruto. Good idea, agreed the gathered Uchihas, but what do we tell our kids? Let Gigi figure it out, replied Naruto. I don't know how to deal with stuff like that yet. So while everyone waited for the third Hokage Hiruzen to arrive, Naruto spent his time getting used to his new body and also learned a basic Kitsune attack, Foxfire, as well as a low-level Jinjutsu, Hell Viewing technique, as now being part Kitsune, fixed Naruto's problems with creating breaking illusions, as those are one of the things Kitsunes are known for. Just not Kumara, for some odd reason. Around dinner time, Hiruzen arrived, as well as Kakashi and Iruka, as they wanted to know what was going on. Naruto, well, I'm glad you saved some lives last night. I don't approve of the method you did so, said Hiruzen once everyone was seated in the main room. Sorry Gigi, but I didn't know what else to do, apologized Naruto. Seeing how you did order for the entire clan's death, I thought it was best to fake the still loyal to the village and go from there. And do you have any ideas on what to do yet? Asked Hiruzen. Well, the Kyuubi told me he knows a special ritual that'll make them part of my clan and change their Sharingans to be like my own, answered Naruto as he activated his unique Sharingan. How do you have a Sharingan? Let alone one that's so different, asked Iruka. His grandmother was once part of our clan, but due to her not obtaining her Sharingan, no matter how hard she tried, she was disowned and banished from the clan, answered Mikoto. Naruto found out from the Kyuubi that it was due to a mutation that made unlocking it the regular way impossible for her and her descendants. And the Kyuubi fixed that last night, but to do that he had to do a little more, added Naruto. What? Asked Kakashi. It's not that I don't trust him, I'm just curious. Let me show you, replied Naruto as he changed into his new form. Well, that's something you don't see every day, noted Hiruzen. So what does this new body allow you to do? Well, now my problems with Injustu are gone, plus I now can use Kitsune powers, answered Naruto. The Kyuubi also told me as I grow older, I'll gain more tails and become even stronger. But while a new tail comes in, my Chikara control will drop considerably until it comes in. Anything else? Asked Iruka. Well, I would grow claws and my canines would get longer, but I used Inyazuka Justu to make them that way already some time ago, answered Naruto. So that didn't change. Have you learned anything new yet? Asked Kakashi. I learned 2 new abilities, answered Naruto, but can we get back to why we're all here? Yes, we're getting off track, agreed Hiruzen. Now what is this ritual Naruto spoke of? Naruto told us that he could make us part of his clan, but he isn't able to do it until his mother is back, answered Mikoto, and until then we should have disguises for when we're out in public. A good plan, though if I'm honest I'm not sure why she hasn't woken up yet, said Hiruzen. Who knows Gigi, but is there any news on any of surviving members of my clan? Asked Naruto. Actually yes, Jiraiya found 3 of them in a village in grass country and they're now with Tsunade helping her watch over your mother, answered Hiruzen. She's also taken the daughter of the 2 elder Uzumakas as an apprentice due to her aptitude towards the art of healing. That's cool, though I wish they'd visit, replied Naruto. I know Naruto, but Jiraiya is doing his best in locating any other members while out in the field, assured Hiruzen. I know Gigi, said Naruto. Now well, your plan is very good, but until further notice I want the children to stay here at the apartments out of sight while the grown-ups provide some income, said Hiruzen. Well, I know how to make weapons and seals, they could sell those, suggested Naruto. That's a good idea, Naruto, and with all the shadow clones you can make it shouldn't be too hard to keep up, agreed Hiruzen. Thanks Gigi, but I know I can't do it all on my own, replied Naruto. Plus some of us do know how to forge weapons and other things to help make money, added Mikoto. Ah, I see, said Hiruzen. Well then take care of that. Now I'm sure you Mikoto want to keep an eye on your son, correct? Yes, but I'm not sure how to do so, answered Mikoto. He thinks I'm dead. Well, there are some who are part of your clan that are part of Anbu and stayed away from taking part of the coup, said Hiruzen, and I plan on having them keep an eye on young Sasuke, and seeing how you were once part of Anbu, you could retake your old position and keep watch over him that way. I guess that's better than nothing, said Mikoto. I'll do it. Good, now if it comes to it we'll reveal that you're alive and that you just faked your death, said Hiruzen. Well now that's taken care of, we can eat, said Hiruzen. Now that sounds good, agreed Naruto. Good thing I had some shadow clones start making dinner. What are you making? Asked Kakashi. Mixed rice and pork, answered Naruto. Since the Uchiha massacre as it came to be known happened at the end of the school year, it only caused the year to end 2 weeks early. During the summer break Naruto started making massive strides in his growth, learning a handful of new justice and mastering his Sharingan up to 2 tomes in each eye. Naruto also mastered weapon making, as well as how to make herbal remedies and antidotes. The justice Naruto learned were the Gale Palm, Water Bullet, Phoenix Fire Flower, Shushin Jutsu, Crystal Ball Jutsu, Earth Style. Underground Projection Fish Technique, Four Legs Technique, Fog Clone Jutsu, Hiding Camouflage Technique, Mind Transfer Jutsu, Projection Technique, and the Escape Jutsu. He didn't master them all, let's make that clear right now, so don't think he did. When the school year began Naruto and his friends immediately noticed a difference in behavior Sasuke, as well as a lot of girls starting to swoon over him. Behold, the birth of the fangirl, noted Naruto tremble in fear as they are one of the most vicious creatures you will ever face. Thankfully Hinata isn't like that, right? Said Kiba. No, she's not a fangirl, replied Naruto, but she is a normal preteen girl with a crush on me. We all know that, Naruto, said Shikamaru. Yeah, I know, it's just if I wasn't already good friends with her, I might pretend to like some other girl as part of my mask of foolishness, said Naruto, but as we are friends working on moving past that, I most defiantly am not going to do that. Plus Hinata would pulverize you for doing so, doesn't hurt either, said Choji. Yeah, no kidding, agreed Naruto with a shiver, I just wish she had a better home life. Yeah, we all do, agreed the others. See, after everything that's been going on Hinata's progress has slowed considerably, which is worrying for Hiashi, for now the elders are pushing Hanabi, Hinata's little sister of 2 years, become even stronger than her, to become the clan heir and Hinata be branded with the caged bird seal. Not that it would work as Naruto created and placed a protection seal on her to prevent it from being even placed on her, now if he could figure out how to remove it after it's been applied. Do you think it might have something to do with her nature type? Asked Shikamaru. Maybe, I'm not very good with the normal style of the gentle fist and have been working on my own version, so that might be it, replied Naruto, but I've only just recently started work on that, so I'm not ready to teach anyone it yet. Well, let's get to school, we're running late as it is, noted Choji. Troublesome, but yeah, you're right, it's not the best way to start the year, agreed Shikamaru. So the new school year begins with Naruto declaring that he's Sasuke's rival. Only to not be taken seriously due to how bad his grades were last year. Oh, if they only knew. Hello class, it is great to see so many familiar faces again for another exciting year, greeted Iruka as he stepped into the room. Now just like last year, we're going to do a series of tests to see where you stand among your classmates, continued Iruka. Now according to the rankings from the end of last year, the rookie of the year was Naruto Uzumaki. No, that can't be right, I thought he was the dead last. Oh yes, here we are, it was Sasuke Uchiha with Shino not far behind him. Naruto and his friends thought it was funny how Iruka told the class who was really at the top of the class in the form a mistake. However, Sasuke's fangirls reacted as expected and flipped out a bit when they heard Naruto was better than Sasuke, if only for a moment. And just like last year, Sasuke was at the top while Naruto and most of his friends were at the bottom. For the boys, that is, Hinata took second for the girls and fourth overall, and Shino again was second for both the boys and overall. Number line, break number. It went on normally with nothing really noteworthy happening. The same for the other school years until the last year of school for the students. Of course Naruto learned a few more jutsus, mastering the ones he did know to the point he only needed one seal, or none whatsoever, even learned how to do them one-handed. Naruto's level with seals and weapon making was almost to the point of being a true master of the art, having created plenty of new seals and could forge his own weapons. Which he sold at a shop next to the main plaza where a lot of traders set up their stalls. This brought in a ton of cash for Naruto and those who lived with him. The former Uchihas moved to the floor below him, but spent plenty of time in the commons room of Naruto's flat as it was the largest room up there. Naruto didn't feel so lonely anymore with so many people spending so much time around him. Hiruzen also told him that with all the wealth he's managed to gain, on top of his clan savings, makes him one of the richest people in the village. Only behind the Hyugas, Uchihas, Shinjas, and Sarutobi shinobi clans in terms of overall wealth, there were still some civilian clans that also held more wealth than he did. Not that Naruto cared all that much and said that he wanted his wealth to be used to help improve the security of the village. Seeing how no one else seemed to put forth the money to do so. Though Hiruzen also told Naruto that all of the vast wealth his clan has in Yuzu in its entirety was greater than all the money in Konoha put together, as it was both a hidden village and the capital of Whirlpool, with the Uzumakas ruling over both. But since the attack and destruction of Yuzu, no one has managed to find the hidden vaults, let alone get a hold of anything from them. So that means if Naruto could locate them and open them, Naruto would have a lot of cash at his disposal, as well as a vast library of knowledge for his use. Number line. Break number. The final year was interesting as during the year Naruto started pulling even crazier and more elaborate pranks on the people of Konoha. Naruto also started carrying around a wooden tanto that he made himself. The tanto on the other hand was only 8 inches long and had a series of seals that made it just as dangerous as a regular tanto made of metal. Most of the other students didn't know what to make of this change, and Sasuke's fangirls thought he was trying to look cooler than Sasuke. Sasuke himself didn't care as he thought it wouldn't be any use to Naruto. How wrong he was. During the year Naruto started also challenging Sasuke more and more to spars, as well as trying to upstage him in class. Much to the ire of both Sasuke and his fangirls as they felt Naruto was a nobody that had no skill whatsoever. "Hey Kakashi Nai, who do you think I'll be paired up with when I graduate this year?" asked Naruto one night at the end of the school year over a diner of roast duck that Naruto made. "I'm afraid that it'd be both Sasuke and Sakura," said Kakashi with a slump. "The only good news is that I'd be your sensei as the council wants me to take Sasuke as my apprentice, or if not that focus most of my attention on him and ignore you and Sakura." "They do know that's illegal, right?" asked Naruto. "I'm sure it was the civilian council that told you to do that and they have no say in shinobi business." "True, but the 2 elders also told me," replied Kakashi. "They've really spoiled that boy ever since the night most of his clan was slain." "I know, at least they haven't discovered my raid of the Jutsu library or the archives yet," said Naruto. "Or that you copied the special writings under the compound," added Kakashi. "Meh, not my problem," shrugged Naruto. "They should have had better protection for their secrets." "That's very much true," agreed Kakashi. "Yes, well I best get to bed soon, Kyuubi wants me to spend the next week training," said Naruto with a yawn. "What kind of training?" asked Kakashi. "Summoning for one, the other was learning some new Kitsune powers," answered Naruto as he summoned a shadow clone to clean up and headed to bed. Line break. "Alright Kumara, what am I going to learn exactly this week?" asked Naruto. "First, I'm going to teach you how to transform fully into your fox form. After that we'll start with the summoning training," answered Kumara as he manifested into a vague red vaporous form thanks to Naruto creating a special seal to allow some very minor and limited freedom from the seal that held him inside Naruto. "Wish I could make that work better," said Naruto. "Hey, this is the most freedom I've had in years, plus no one has ever managed to do this before. So don't discredit your work," scolded Kumara, "but yes, having a more solid form would be nice." Alright already," submitted Naruto. "Now how do I transform?" "It shouldn't be that hard thanks to your henge works in the same way, but once you learn how to transform into your Kitsune form your powers will become more powerful," replied Kumara, "so just relax and focus on both your Kitsune powers and changing forms." "Alright," replied Naruto as he sat down and began meditating. A few moments later Naruto felt himself changing, it hurt and felt really weird to him. But once it was over he opened his eyes and immediately noticed that his was no longer human. "Did it work?" asked Naruto. "Yep, it did," answered Kumara. "You now are a 3-tailed blonde fox." "Cool, I'm going to go look around to get used to my new body," said Naruto as he tried to stand and move around, failing terribly. "Man, this is harder than it looks." "Take your time kid, take your time," said Kumara, who was very proud of Naruto also. "Until you master your new body you should stay like that so you get used to it faster." "Alright," agreed Naruto, who proceeded to take a nap. It took 4 days, but Naruto managed to learn how to control his new body and how to change back and forth very quickly and painlessly. He also learned how to summon his fox fire in that form, as well as hunt for food. That was an interesting experience for Naruto, as he never had to hunt before. "Alright, now since you are part Kitsune you are allowed to summon full-blooded ones to help you out in various tasks," explained Kumara. "What can they do exactly?" asked Naruto, who was currently in his Kitsune form. "Well, for starters Kitsunes are very good at tracking, spying, assassinations, surprise attacks, delivering messages and the like," answered Kumara. "So basically anything related to being sneaky?" asked Naruto. "Pretty much, the toads are rather good with most of the other things Kitsunes aren't, so between the 2 clans you have your bases covered for most situations you might come across," replied Kumara. "Cool, so how do I summon?" asked Naruto. "Alright, the hand signs are pretty much the same, but the last one is the hand sign for fox and you call out. Kitsune summoning jutsu," answered Kumara. "Alright, here I go," said Naruto as he changed back into his human form so he could preform the hand seals and called out Kitsune summoning jutsu and slammed his palm on the ground. A poof of smoke appeared, and when it dissipated a 5-foot-tall, two-tailed black fox was standing there looking completely confused. "Where in the world am I?" asked a Kitsune, "and how did I get here?" "Sorry if I interrupted anything, but I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the current vessel for Kumara, and I summoned you here," answered Naruto. "Liar. No one can hold Lord Kumara," yelled the Kitsune as he lunged at Naruto to attack him. Naruto quickly ducked out of the way, changed forms and blasted the fox spirit with a large dose of fox fire, blowing him into a large boulder. "How dare you call me a liar?" snarled Naruto. "Do I look like I'm lying? I mean, look at me." "Okay, how in the world can you use our powers?" asked the Kitsune angrily. "Oh, for Kami's sake, sit down and shut up," yelled Kumara as he manifested himself. "Naruto was given this form from me not too long ago, and even though I am a Kitsune, I'm still also a Biji and can be sealed away like one." "Boo boo, but the elders said that you," whimpered the Kitsune. "I said be quiet," ordered Kumara. "Clearly the elders need dealt with, but I'm unable to do anything as of right now. So until I say otherwise, you are going to be staying with Naruto as his personal Kitsune summon, am I understood?" "Yes, Lord Kumara," replied the cowed Kitsune. "Good, now what's your name?" asked Kumara. "It's Shade," answered Shade. "It's not the best name, but it's mine." "Okay, Shade, now I can see that you only have 2 tails so far," noted Kumara, "which means you're fairly young, yet you should know the basic powers are kind uses. So why didn't you use your fox fire and instead jump to attack Naruto?" "Well, I haven't learned how to summon my fox fire yet, and I wasn't thinking clearly when I attacked," answered Shade with shame. "How in the world are you a 2-tailed fox and don't know how to use fox fire?" demanded Kumara. "Well, the elders changed the laws on how one learns how to summon our fox fire and other powers after you went missing, and I'm mostly a sneaky prankster who can slip by most of the guards," answered Shade. "Those elders are dead once I get back," declared Kyuubi. "They have no right to do that." "Okay, well, can we get back to training now?" asked Naruto, who felt really out of place. "Sorry, Naruto, but yes, let's," replied Kumara. "We need to get you and Shade in sync with each other." The rest of the week Naruto and Shade got to know each other better, and Kumara told Naruto that he is not to try to summon any other Kitsunes until they correct the problems with their homeland. When they returned to Konoha, Naruto told Shade that he would have to stay either in his apartment or outside the village for a little while until the first mission outside the village he gets. When Shade was introduced to the others, they quickly grew fond of him, especially the girls, as they thought he was the cutest thing they had ever seen. Shade had learned to shrink his size down to that of a normal fox so he could get around better. Line break. Soon it was time for the graduation test and everyone was excited for it. Until they looked outside and saw the Hokage monument painted in graffiti. They quickly realized who had done it as they heard a bunch of Chunin and Jonin chase after Naruto, who laughed at their attempts to catch him. "Lord Hokage, he's gone too far this time," yelled a Chunin as he barged in on Hiruzen while he was in the sauna. "Gahh. My eyes. Well, maybe next time you'll think before barging in here," yelled Hiruzen angrily. "Now tell me what's going on." "It's Naruto, sir, he's painted the Hokage monument," explained the man whose eyes were still smoldering. "Why in the world did he do that?" mumbled Hiruzen. "I haven't done anything to upset him, have I?" "Sir, what should we do?" asked the ninja. "Just follow normal protocol and bring him to me, if you can catch him, that is," replied Hiruzen. "Now leave me, I would like to enjoy the rest of my break, thank you very much." The ninja that were chasing Naruto started dropping like flies after an hour of running and jumping around all over the village. Eventually Naruto tricked them into running past him with a basic hiding technique but was quickly apprehended by Iruka. "Naruto, what do you think you're doing out of class?" yelled Iruka as he used his big head jutsu that he developed from having to deal with Naruto's classmates, constantly ignoring him. Was Naruto's smart reply, right before he was tied up and taken back to class by irate Iruka. Line break. "Alright class, now due to a certain interruption we will be going over the hinge jutsu." "Alright," said Iruka after he dropped Naruto into his seat next to Hinata, as it's been since they started school. "Escape jutsu," whispered Naruto as he got free of his bindings. The class wasn't happy to go over the hinge and made their displeasure well known. "Alright, now I want you to come up to the front and transform into the third Hokage when I call your name," said Iruka. Eventually it was Naruto's turn, where instead of changing into Hiruzen, he transformed into Jiraiya wearing a toad outfit. How he knew how Jiraiya would look wearing that he'll take to his grave. That's not who I asked you to transform into, but great job anyway," said Iruka. "How do you know what Lord Jiraiya looks like?" asked Mizuki, a teaching assistant that the council appointed to Naruto's class to report his progress better. "Saw a picture in Jiji's office one time," replied Naruto. "I mean, he was his teacher after all, right?" "Fair enough," replied Mizuki, who thought the demon has to fail for my plan to work. "Thankfully he's too stupid to actually pass, so it'll be a piece of cake." Later that day Naruto had to clean off the paint, but as he used water-soluble paint it wasn't that hard, and afterwards Iruka took him out for ramen. "Hey Naruto, good luck on the test tomorrow," said Iruka. "I know you'll do great." "Thanks Iruka-sensei, but I was thinking," replied Naruto happily, "that while I'm doing the written part, which for some reason is a bigger part of the test than it should be, I do poorly in class, while I have a clone write down my real answers with Gigi. That way no one can mess with them after the fact." "I take it you already brought it up with him?" asked Iruka. "Yep, and he agreed to it," answered Naruto. "The only thing I'm not looking forward to is who my teammates will be." "Sasuke and Sakura, right?" asked Iruka. "Yeah, them," replied Naruto sullenly. "It's going to be a pain being around them all the time, but hopefully they come around." "No kidding, considering how they act," agreed Iruka. "I mean, I know by the time the Chunin exams come around you'll be ready, but I'm not sure they'll be. With Kakashi leading us, we just might barely be able to," said Naruto. "Well, I'm off to get ready for tomorrow. What do you think, should I wear my new outfit or not?" "I say wear it when team assignments are given out, it'd give them quite a start," answered Iruka. "Also don't forget, just because you mess up on the written part doesn't mean you'll fail. I know you can pass with everything else." "I know that Iruka, those they can't fudge and make me look bad," replied Naruto as he left the ramen bar. Line break. The next day everyone gathered to take the graduation exam, some felt ready and that they'll pass no problem, others were apprehensive about it but were still willing to take it. As time went on Naruto showed off that he was indeed slightly more skilled than he let on as he passed everything but the written portion so far. Now it was time for the ninjutsu portion of the test. "Alright, now this year you are to show us the 3 basic academy jutsus as well as one other one as extra credit," explained Iruka. While Naruto waited for his turn he began wondering why he was feeling off today, he just couldn't understand it. Nothing came to mind to explain what was happening. The reason, mainly it was due to the fact that his 4th tail was coming in that day, the second was because Mizuki placed a Jinjutsu on him to disrupt his chakra flow, to make him more likely to fail. "Naruto," Uzumaki called Iruka. "Alright Naruto, now show us your henge," said Iruka once Naruto was in the back room where the test was to be done in. "Henge," called Naruto as he was covered in smoke. When the smoke cleared, there standing in front of Iruka and Mizuki was a very much naked girl with long pigtails. "Naruto? What kind of jutsu is that?" demanded Iruka. "Ah. The hell. I was going for something completely different," exclaimed Naruto in horror. Henge. Once the smoke cleared they saw that Naruto now looked exactly like Kakashi. "Okay, that's a lot better," said Iruka with a sigh of relief, as it took a lot of willpower not to be blown back by a nosebleed. "I have no idea where that came from and I'm never going to change into that again," said Naruto when he undid his henge. "Good idea, now," said Iruka as he pulled a wooden kunai and threw it think fast. Naruto quickly swapped places with a picture of Hiruzen from off the wall. "Not the first thing I would have picked to change places with, but good enough," said Iruka. "Now on to the clone jutsu." Naruto started gathering the correct amount of chakra to perform the jutsu, but as soon as he called out clone jutsu, he felt a rush of chakra go into the move causing a large amount of smoke. "What in the world just happened?" thought Naruto. When the smoke cleared there laying on the ground to his right was a pale dead clone. "I know I can do this, so what the heck is going on?" thought Naruto. "Strange, I wonder what went wrong," thought Iruka. "I know for a fact that Naruto can do this easily. Ha! My plan worked, now to put the final pieces into place and get rid of the demon once and for all," thought Mizuki. "Well Naruto, I'm afraid that you fail," said Iruka carefully. "Can I try one more time?" asked Naruto. "I guess," replied Iruka. Sadly Naruto still failed to make a proper clone, but now Naruto was beginning to figure out what was going on. "Sorry but you still fail," apologized Iruka. "Wait Iruka, he did make a clone, surely he can pass," said Mizuki. Both Naruto and Iruka gave him an odd look, Naruto more discreetly as he was pretending to look hopeful. Both of them also wondered what Mizuki's game was, as they both knew that he didn't like Naruto at all. Once school was let out all the parents congratulated their kids on passing and also spoke poorly and were glad that Naruto failed. Speaking of Naruto, he was on the tire swing off on his own with his friends looking at him with worry and some confusion, same went for their parents as they all knew that Naruto should have passed. As everyone was beginning to leave Mizuki came over to Naruto to comfort him and put his hand on his shoulder. "Naruto, Iruka was just looking out for you, you know," assured Mizuki, "he just was looking out for you." The heck is he getting at? Does he not know Iruka lives at the same place I do, or what? Thought Naruto. But seeing how he wanted you to pass, he agreed to let me tell you a secret way to pass, added Mizuki. Okay, that's a lie, thought Naruto, the only way to become a genin besides passing the test is a field promotion, but that's not secret. How Mizuki? Asked Naruto with false hope. Simple, what you need to do is sneak into the Hokage's tower and take the forbidden scroll and take it to a location that I'll have to come find, learn a jutsu from it and then wait for me to arrive, then you pass, answered Mizuki, thinking, this is too easy. He's planning on setting me up as the fall guy. Well then, thought Naruto, joke's on him, I have no plan on letting him get away with it. Okay Mizuki, I'll do it, said Naruto. Line break. Heading into the Hokage's tower was painfully easy and getting the scroll was just as easy. Though Naruto told Hiruzen, Iruka and Kakashi what was going on beforehand. Hiruzen wasn't happy with Mizuki's plan and told Naruto that he'll have to go all out when the time comes to deal with the traitor and that it was going to be put down as a high B rank mission. While Naruto ran off to the location, Hiruzen sent out ninja to find him as part of the act. Though Mizuki tried to find Iruka to tell him, but he was already among the gathered ninja, stating he was heading home for the night when the alarm was sounded. Line break. Naruto arrived at a small clearing a mile out of the village and opened the scroll. Let's see if I can't learn anything from this, said Naruto. The first thing is the shadow clone, but I already know that, let's see what else there is. Naruto read everything in the scroll with his Sharingan eyes, as not to miss anything, and found a lot of high-grade jutsus that he could learn and set out to doing so with an army of shadow clones. 2 hours later Naruto managed to learn most of the jutsus in the scroll, not that they were very powerful yet and far from being mastered. As he closed up the scroll, Iruka found him and entered the clearing. Naruto, just what were you thinking? Demanded Iruka as he played his part, as he sensed that Mizuki trailed after him, as he was one of the few people who could find Naruto when he hides away. Except when using a certain jutsu to blend into the shadows around him. Training, Iruka-sensei. I learned a really cool jutsu from the scroll, so I pass right. Replied Naruto in the guise of an idiot. What do you mean? Asked Iruka. Mizuki-sensei told me all I had to do to pass the secret test was to get this scroll from Jiji's tower, learn a jutsu from it before he gets here and bam. I pass. Explained Naruto. Mizuki told you? Asked Iruka as he sensed a hail of kunai headed towards them. Naruto, look out. Yelled Iruka as he knocked Naruto out of the way and got hit by a bunch of kunai. Good work, Iruka, mocked Mizuki. Now Naruto, hand me the scroll. No Naruto, don't do it. That scroll is full of important secrets, yelled Iruka. Huh? What's going on? Asked Naruto in false confusion. You're to want to talk, Iruka, said Mizuki. Hey Naruto, you want to know why everyone hates you? Yeah? Replied Naruto. No Mizuki, don't, it's forbidden. Cried Iruka. 12 years ago the nine-tailed fox attacked the village, started Mizuki, but how the 4th Hokage defeated the nine-tailed fox was that he had to seal it into a newborn. No. Don't tell him. Yelled Iruka. Sealed in a newborn? Asked Naruto, what are you saying? But you were that newborn, Naruto explained. Mizuki, you are the nine-tailed fox reborn. That's why everyone hates you. Even Iruka hates you. The reaction was Naruto to go deadpan, then into rage as he yelled, hey asshole, news flash, I've known about the Kyuubi for a few years now. And that those who break that law are to be put to death. And I'll gladly do so. What are you? Exclaimed Mizuki as Naruto stopped hiding his true power, changing into his Kitsune form and launching at him at high speeds. Someone who has played you for a fool, Mizuki, said Iruka as he appeared behind the man, ready to end him. What are you doing? He needs to die. Yelled Mizuki, the Kyuubi has taken over. Wrong, Naruto has managed to gain that form from hard work, corrected Iruka, not that you'll live to tell anyone. Mizuki tried to escape but was cornered by Naruto, who summoned 2,000 shadow clones and proceeded to beat him to death, with him punching right through his chest as the killing blow. Traitor was the last thing Mizuki heard before he died. You alright, Naruto? Asked Iruka, concerned as Naruto has never killed anyone before, at least he hopes so. I'll be alright, Iruka, replied Naruto as he pulled his hand free. Had to get this over with at some point. Not that I enjoyed killing him. I'd be worried if you did, said Iruka. Well, come here, Naruto, there's something I want to give you. What is it? Asked Naruto as he came over to Iruka. Close your eyes, it's a surprise, replied Iruka happily. When Naruto closed his eyes, he felt Iruka lower the goggles he wore and placed something else in its place. Alright, you can open your eyes now, said Iruka. When Naruto did so, he noticed that Iruka didn't have his headband on, meaning that he gave it to Naruto, who asked, does this mean? Congrats, you graduate, replied Iruka, even if it wasn't in the normal course of actions. Plus this counts a field promotion, so even if things don't go well with your teammates, you still are a full ninja. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. Cried Naruto as he glomped Iruka in a big hug. Hey, take it easy, we've had a rough night, complained Iruka as he broke out in laughter. It's a shame that you had to kill at so young, Naruto, but I know you're strong enough to get past it, said Hiruzen as he finished writing out Naruto's ninja registration form, making his field promotion legal. Plus the stupid civilian council can't argue about you not becoming a ninja anymore. Once Naruto and Iruka came back, after Naruto cleaned off his hand to return the forbidden scroll, Hiruzen told Naruto that he can keep it as he'd keep it safer at his place than at the Hokage's tower. Are you sure, Jiji? I mean, this scroll is very important, asked Naruto. Think of it as a graduation present, plus I'm sure you already have read through it already, replied Hiruzen. Thanks, Jiji, thanked Naruto happily. Hey Naruto, I just realized that your fourth tail had came in during our confrontation with Mizuki, noted Iruka. Hey, you're right, my chakra feels stronger and I have more of it, said Naruto. I'm sure your godfather will be glad to hear that when he gets back, said Hiruzen. Hey, when will he be back? Asked Naruto. He should be back by the time the Chunin exams start, answered Hiruzen. I wish he was here to see me graduate, said Naruto softly. Well, he did send you a jutsu scroll for you to learn from as a graduation present, said Hiruzen as he tossed over the scroll. It's his hair growth jutsu and a defensive jutsu called Needle Guardian. The hair growth jutsu is in there as you need to have a lot of hair for it to work. Thanks, Jiji, tell Pervy Sage I said thank you, said Naruto. Now I should be getting to bed, it's late. Good idea, now remember you have team assignments in 1 week, said Hiruzen, but you should get your ninja ID picture taken as soon as possible. Alright Jiji, see you later, replied Naruto as he leapt out of the window and towards his house. Line break. The next day Naruto woke up and changed into his new outfit and strapped on his wooden 24 inches katana to his back. Now instead of his bright orange monstrosity, Naruto wore dark grey leggings that he was also wearing black ninja boots that had shin guards built in and slim gauntlets to protect his hands. Naruto had his black tool pouch strapped to the side of his legs and on his belt that had plenty of space for his scrolls. All in all, Naruto looked fairly imposing. Naruto of course used the hinge to hide his new look until teams were assigned and headed over to the Hokage's tower to get his picture taken. Alright, now are you ready? Asked the cameraman. Hold on, said Naruto as he dropped his illusion. Now I'm ready. Ugh, ninjas and their tricks, complained the man as he took the picture. Nice photo, Naruto, I take it this is how you're going to look once teams are handed out, said Hiruzen after Naruto gave him his ID picture. Yep, sure is, replied Naruto, now onward to working on my little project. I can't wait to see it once it's complete, replied Hiruzen. Just then the door suddenly opened up and a young boy came rushing in holding a shuriken, yelling, haha. Now I'll defeat you. Before tripping over his overly long scarf and falling flat on his face. Naruto gave a questioning look at Hiruzen, who replied, that's my grandson Konohamaru, this is his 5th attempt today. It's only 7 in the morning, geez, what's up with him? Pondered Naruto. Hey, who tripped me? Demanded Konohamaru, who then pointed at Naruto. It was who, wasn't it? What, who, me? Replied Naruto as he came over and picked him up and said, listen here, if I wanted to trip you, you'd never know it was me. Honorable grandson, where are you? Called out a voice from the hall. Konohamaru flinched at the voice as he didn't like Abisu, which Naruto noticed and decided to help the poor kid out a bit by whispering to him, if you can find me by the end of the day, I'll help you out way better than that closest pervert, before vanishing from sight. Konohamaru quickly ran after Naruto as he wanted his help, and he's heard that he's incredibly skilled for someone his age from his grandfather and uncle. Huh? I swore he was in here, said Abisu as he entered the room. Oh, he was, but he's gone after Naruto for some reason, said Hiruzen. Now if you don't mind me, I'm going to grab a bite to eat, seeing how I missed breakfast. I can't let that demon influence his honorable grandson, it'd be a disaster, thought Abisu as he ran off to find Konohamaru before he found Naruto. It took Konohamaru until lunch to find Naruto as he was eating at Ichiraku's for lunch. Have you been here this entire time? Asked Konohamaru, who was worn out from looking for Naruto. No, I was at home working on a special project. If you had asked your grandfather where I lived you might have found me sooner, answered Naruto. Oh, but did you mean you'd help me? Asked Konohamaru. Yeah, I kinda owe Jiji for all the help he's given me over the years. It's the least I can do, answered Naruto, plus I'm sure I'm a better teacher than Abisu. That guy thinks there are shortcuts to just about everything. I know, he keeps spouting on about how he's my shortcut to becoming Hokage, agreed Konohamaru. Hokage, huh? Why do you want to do that? Asked Naruto. So everyone will see me for me, and not as the honorable grandson, not Konohamaru, explained Konohamaru. I mean, Grandpa gave me my name after the old name of the village, so it would be easier to remember. But no one calls me that. I see, well come with me, and I'll see what you know so far and see what I can do, said Naruto as he got up and paid for his meal. Line break. Naruto brought Konohamaru to one of the training grounds and asked him to show him what he knew. To say he was impressed would be the biggest lie in the village. Okay, just how much have you been taught so far? Asked Naruto. I mean, you can't even hide that well or use any jutsus. Abisu has been drilling me on history and other boring stuff before he'll teach me anything, explained Konohamaru. I can't even use my chakra yet and it was one of the first things I was supposed to learn. Haven't you told Jiji or your parents? Asked Naruto. No, answered Konohamaru. Well then I know what I'm going to teach you, said Naruto, and after that I'll teach you a cool chakra control trick so it becomes easier to use. Thanks. Said Konohamaru, who was glad to be taught something useful. Now I agree that just teaching academic stuff before how to use chakra is bad form. It is important to learn that type of stuff so you're successful in life, said Naruto, but I'm not going to bother you with that. It took Konohamaru a little over an hour to unlock his chakra, where Naruto told him he had a little more than the average kid his age. It made Konohamaru happy to know the amount of chakra was slightly more than most of the other kids in his age group. Now I'm going to teach you how to walk up trees or other flat surfaces, said Naruto. It's also great for sticking to the ground when there is a strong wind. Wow, that's so cool, said Konohamaru. Yep, now normally you'd learn the leaf sticking exercise before this and then your Jonin sensei would teach you this, said Naruto. Of course in my class, I learned this on my own after seeing someone else doing it. That's cool, said Konohamaru. Yeah, okay it is, now here let me show you how it works, said Naruto as he walked up to a tree and started walking up it with just his feet and stopped midway. The trick is to get a running start, or so I've heard, but I think starting laying down at the bottom of the tree and seeing how much chakra it takes to keep your foot on it before starting to climb. It hurts a lot less. Thanks for the advice, said Konohamaru as he started trying to climb a tree the way Naruto told him to. Line break. A few hours later and Konohamaru managed to learn how to climb a tree with just his feet reasonably well for someone his age. We also see Naruto and Konohamaru taking a break and having a snack to regain their energy. There you are. Declared Ibisu as he jumped into the clearing the two were in and came towards Konohamaru. Now honorable grandson, please get away from this riffraff at once. Being around people like him will ruin your chances of becoming Hokage. Only with my guidance can you reach the top the fastest way. Do you have a screw loose or something? There is no shortcuts to becoming Hokage, I should know as that's what I'm going to become someday, stated Naruto. What, you didn't tell me that? Yelled Konohamaru. You didn't ask, plus it just makes us rivals, said Naruto with a smile. Of course I'm going to become Hokage before you do. Honorable grandson, you must come with me at once. Ordered Ibisu as he grabbed Konohamaru's scarf and tried to pull him away, but Konohamaru used his recently learned skill to keep him from moving. Shadow clone jutsu. Yelled Naruto as he summoned up 200 clones behind him. Leave him alone. Please, I'm a Jonin and I'm not going to fall to something like this, said Ibisu. Great breakthrough. Yelled Naruto as he summoned up a massive gale with all his clones as blew Ibisu far away but left Konohamaru still standing there as. Wow, that was amazing, you blew him away, said Konohamaru in awe. Well, he didn't see it coming for one, and for two I used a large amount of clones, said Naruto, but I suggest getting a different tutor and not me as I'm going to be starting my ninja career soon. Alright, agreed Konohamaru. Well, see you around, Konohamaru said Naruto as he started walking away. I've got a long way to go before I reach our dream. Yeah, now we're rivals, agreed Konohamaru, who was happy that someone recognized him for who he was and not who his grandfather was. Next Monday Naruto headed to the academy for the team assignments in his new gear with the hood of his cloak up so people don't recognize him right away. Once he reached the academy he slipped into his classroom and sat down in his normal seat, not that the people that were already in the room recognized him due to his new cloths. Not including Iruka as Naruto showed it to him. Congrats all of you for graduating and becoming genin, said Iruka. Now you take your first steps into a larger world. Now I will now read off who your new teammates will be for the beginning of your careers. Line break. Meanwhile the Hokage's office was filled with the 12 Jonin that were to test a new group of graduates from the academy to see if they actually become genin or not. Except Naruto as he had a field promotion, not that Hiruzen was going to tell them that. Where's Kakashi? Shouldn't he be here? Asked one of the Jonin. Kakashi already knows which group he's going to be testing, said Hiruzen. Team 7. You mean the one that has the last Uchiha and the dead last brat, said a different Jonin. I bet he's just going to fail the team just so he can train just the Uchiha and leave the demon to rot, said another Jonin, who quickly found a kunai in his throat and dropped dead. You should know better than to refer to Naruto in that way, warned Hiruzen as he let the group feel a good amount of his kai. Most of the group got nervous, but the senseis of teams 8, 9 and 10 weren't, as they all knew Naruto one way or another and liked the kid. I can't believe that someone would be so unyouthful as to say such a thing in front of Lord Hokage, noted Might Guy. Line break. Iruka began naming off the teams from 1 to 6 before reading of Team 7 will be Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, sequel from Sakura and grown from Ino, and Naruto Uzumaki. But Tsunesi Naruto failed, complained Sakura, plus he's not even here. Actually Sakura Naruto came to me later and tried again as there was something wrong with his chakra that day. That's why he failed then and he is here where he normally sits. The entire room looked over to where Naruto would sit and saw Naruto in his new outfit just sitting there. What? I'm not that hard to miss, am I? Baka. "Stop trying to act all cool like Sasuke," yelled Sakura. "Why would I do that?" asked Naruto. "I don't want a rod stuck up my rear end." "Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted. Cut in Iruka, your sensei will be Kakashi Haddock." "Cool, we get a former Anbu captain as team leader," noted Naruto, knowing it would get attention, but not telling them about his tendency to turn up late on most occasions. Sasuke liked hearing that his was going to be taught by a former Anbu, as he'll become stronger faster, so he can kill his older brother. "Yeah, like that's going to happen." Iruka then continued on listing off teams 8, 10, 11 and 12. 9 was still in circulation under Might Guy. Then he told them that they'll be picked up by their senseis after lunch. "By any chance do you two want to come with me for lunch?" Naruto asked his new teammates. "I mean, we're supposed to be teammates after all." "No way, you're just trying to take me out on a date or something," replied Sakura, who was repulsed by such a thought. "Like heck I'd ask you on a date," snapped Naruto. "Everyone knows me and Hinata like each other, so I'm not going to waste my time on you." "No," was all Sasuke said as he got up to leave. Now don't get him wrong, if Sakura or any of his fangirls were going to be there he was going to stay away. Otherwise he might have agreed, just to see what Naruto's game was. Naruto left to go get lunch at Ichiraku's, but not before inviting his friends along, and Ino as she was part of Shikamaru and Choji's team. "La, Raymond, seriously, what about my figure?" wailed Ino. "They've been working on a diet line of ramen for some time, they just need some willing people to taste it," countered Naruto. "Plus this place is the best in all of Konoha." "Oh," said Ino in surprise, "I didn't know that." "Hey Naruto, where's your teammates?" asked Kiba. Sakura thought I was trying to ask her out on a date and ran off after Sasuke, who also didn't want to come with, answered Naruto. "Seriously, we all know who'd I'd ask out way before her." "Forehead said that?" asked Ino in shock. "How dense is she to how your feelings towards Hinata?" "I have no idea," replied Naruto. Hinata just smiled as she watched the conversation move on. "Anyhow, from what I know about our senseis we should all become great ninjas someday," said Naruto. "How do you know anything about our senseis?" asked Ino. "If you'd hang around us more and not pay so much attention on Sasuke, you would have known we've met them before at Kakashi's for a game night," answered Naruto. "How do you know where he lives?" asked Ino. "He lives at the same place I do, but don't tell Sakura or Sasuke that. I want it to be a surprise," answered Naruto. "And where do you live?" asked Ino. "At the same place that bears my clan's name," answered Naruto with a flat look. "I mean, come on, how hard is it to figure out where I live?" "Oh oops, my bad," apologized Ino. "It's alright, but Ino, if you want to keep up with everyone you're going to have to pull back on the dieting and focus more on your training and skills. Otherwise you're going to fall behind in our dust," warned Naruto. "We've been holding back in school, some of us more so than others." "What do you mean by that?" asked Ino, who didn't believe him. "Well, Hinata and Shino haven't held anything back, but the rest of us," explained Naruto, "have been keeping our full abilities back since the start of school. I mean, think about it, how is it that so many clan heirs are at the bottom of a class that has a large number of civilian students?" Ino's face at the realization of how much she's been played is very amusing, causing everyone to break out in laughter. The group then heads back to school after a very informative lunch, at least for Ino, to meet up with their senseis. Quick note. For the shinobi clans and a few others, they know that Naruto is part of a clan, but his mother is away recovering and there is a chance that more of them are out in the world somewhere. To the rest, he's just a clanless orphan. Once everyone got back to school they sat down and waited for their senseis to arrive. Naruto, knowing Kakashi's habit of being late, had a clone go fetch a good book to read while he waits. Without any of his friends noticing him make the clone and said clone handing him a book. Soon after everyone was back in the classroom, all the senseis except Kakashi arrived and picked up their teams to give them their final test. "You two better get comfortable, Kakashi isn't going to be here for a while," warned Naruto as he pulled out his book and began reading it. "Since when do you read?" asked Sasuke when he saw the book. "I've never seen you willingly pick up a book." "Sure, if they're school books, otherwise I like to read most kinds of books," replied Naruto. "Alright, what book is it?" asked Sasuke. "Probably that perverted series Icha," said Sakura, who was upset Sasuke was talking to Naruto and not her. Once those words left her mouth she was hit with the full brunt of Naruto's kai, which dropped the temperature of the room by 20 degrees as he said, "You dare accuse me of being a pervert and reading smut when you have that sicking altar to Sasuke and do some rather disgusting things that I'm not even going to repeat." Sakura was paralyzed by Naruto's kai and mortified by his accusations and barely managed to say, "You have no proof of any of that." "Exactly how bad is it?" asked Sasuke as he figured that his fangirls did something like that. "You don't want to know, really you don't," said Naruto with a shudder. "Just tell me," said Sasuke. "I can handle it." "Fine, here, see for yourself," said Naruto as he handed Sasuke a folder. Sasuke took a quick peek and quickly closed it and had a look of absolute horror on his face. See, she's by far the worst fangirl ever, whispered Naruto. Not even Ino, who's the second worst fangirl of yours, is nearly this bad. How in the world did you even get those pictures? Asked Sasuke. Oh, theirs isn't anywhere in the village I haven't been in, replied Naruto. Now please leave me to my book. You still haven't told me what book it is, said Sasuke. It's a book on medical jutsu and procedures, answered Naruto, not looking at becoming a medical ninja or anything, but it's a good idea to have some skill. Think I might be able to use those kind of jutsus? Asked Sasuke. They require very good chakra control, so I'm not sure how well you could use them, replied Naruto. After that no one said anything, though Sakura gave Naruto dirty looks. It wasn't until 3 o'clock that Kakashi arrived at the room. My first impression of you, said Kakashi when he entered, causing Sasuke and Sakura to look up at him. Two of you are boring. Huh? Said Sakura stupidly. HN, grunted Sasuke. Anyway, be up on the roof in 5 minutes, said Kakashi as he shoo-shined away. Naruto also shoo-shined away, much to Sasuke and Sakura's surprise. The two of them arrived on the roof shortly after Naruto and Kakashi, who were having a very engaging conversation about seals. Oh, you're here, said Kakashi as the two came over, ending the conversation with Naruto. Now take a seat and then we can introduce ourselves. What do you want us to say? Asked Sakura as Sasuke sat down on opposite sides of Naruto. Seriously, how did she get her spot as the top Kanachi? Thought Kakashi, who answered, you know your name, likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams, that sort of stuff. Can you show us? Asked Sakura. The others gave her a blank look in response. I mean, seriously, how smart is she really? Alright, fine, my name is Kakashi Haddock. I like teamwork and those close to me. What I don't like are traitors and those who break their word. As for my hobbies, you're all too young to understand it. As for my dream, well, it is to make my fallen comrades proud of me and pass on their will of fire to the next generation for them. Now you pinky. Who, me? My name is Sakura Haruno. What I like, looks over to Sasuke and squeals. I dislike Naruto and Ino Pig. My hobbies are, squeals again. My dream is, squeals once again at a higher pitch, was Sakura's response. Good grief, this is really bad. I'm not sure how I'm going to correct this behavior. Thought Kakashi, who said, alright Mr. Dark and Brooding, your turn. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. The only thing that I currently like are tomatoes. What I dislike are fangirls and especially fanboys, and the one who destroyed my clan. My only hobby is training and my dream, no ambition, is to destroy a certain man and rebuild my clan, was Sasuke's response. Just as I thought, but he seems to be somewhat stable, thought Kakashi, who said, alright, now your turn, Whiskers. Naruto shot Kakashi a glare, but went forth and say, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen, my friends, reading, studying new jutsus, and fuinjutsu. What I don't like are traitors and people who can't tell the difference between a kunai, the scroll it's sealed in. My hobbies are making seals, reading, hanging out with my friends and those close to me. My dream is to become Hokage and make my parents proud of me, even if they're not here with me. Just what I expect from Naruto, thought Kakashi. But parents? You're an orphan, said Sakura insensitively. The incredibly cold look she got from the others made her very nervous. Sakura, where do you get the nerve to say something like that, said Kakashi in a cold tone. We've all lost our parents for various reasons. Oh, I didn't know, said Sakura in a small voice. Well, think before you open your trap, warned Kakashi. Now tomorrow at 7 we are going to have a survival exercise. Why? Asked Sasuke. We did those in the academy. This one is a little different than normal, explained Kakashi, as if you fail it, you will have to go back to the academy for another year if you're lucky. Otherwise be dropped from the shinobi program permanently. Oh, and this test has a 66% failure rate. Both Sasuke and Sakura both got nervous as that meant the of their dreams ambitions. Naruto wasn't worried as he was already a genin thanks to his field promotion. Also, as a warning, don't eat breakfast or you'll throw up, advised Kakashi before he vanished. Eat something light but filling, said Naruto, otherwise you aren't going to have the energy to do much. Then Naruto also vanished to finish a project he's been working on for some time. Sasuke left, ignoring Sakura's advances, to get ready for the next day and try to figure out just who Naruto was. Sakura just daydreamed about Sasuke and didn't do anything to get ready. Line break. The next day Sakura was the first one to arrive to the training grounds, but it was the wrong one as it was training ground 9. She was scared by the sunset of youth and ran off screaming and swore to never speak of it again. This is why Sasuke was the first one to arrive to training ground 7 at 7 and see Sakura come running in with a terror-struck face. Man, she's such a dead weight, thought Sasuke. At least Naruto seems to take things seriously now, so me might actually keep up with me, somewhat. A half-hour later Naruto arrived with a batch of scrolls under his arms and proceeded to use some of them to create a screen between himself and the others and called out, don't mind me, just putting the finishing touches to something I've been working on for quite some time. It was around 10 when Kakashi arrived to see Sakura off to the side sulking and Sasuke looking over to Naruto who was looking rather smug about something. "Hi there," greeted Kakashi. "You're late," yelled Sakura. "Sorry, I had to help this old lady get her shopping home when her bags ripped," apologized Kakashi. Sure," said Naruto who didn't quite believe him. "Anyway, your test is to take these bells from me by the time this alarm goes off," said Kakashi as he pulled out said bells and alarm clock and placed the clock on one of the 3 stumps in the clearing. "But sensei, there's only 2 bells," noted Sakura. "Correct, those who fail to get a bell will be tied to a stump while the rest of us eat," said Kakashi as he turned to face them, "and then their fate of what happens to them afterwards will be decided." The 3 former students got ready to move. "Now begin," called Kakashi. The 3 of them jumped away to hide from Kakashi. "Well, at least she knows how to hide somewhat," noted Kakashi as he saw that Sakura was hidden fairly well. Sasuke did a good job as well, but Naruto on the other hand, I have no clue where he went. As Kakashi went after the 3 students, going for Sakura first as she was the easiest and weakest of the 3 by far. "PST Sakura," whispered Kakashi from behind Sakura, startling her and making her turn around. Kakashi cast the hell viewing jutsu on Sakura who fell for it very easily. "It's the same as in canon, look it up." "I wonder if Sasuke will work with me or not," pondered Naruto. "I mean that's the main part of this test, right Kakashi?" "Correct Naruto, I even hinted at it yesterday when I talked about myself," replied Kakashi. "Now are you going to go for a bell or not?" "Who says I haven't?" replied Naruto as he showed a bell in his hand. Kakashi quickly checked his belt where he tied the bells on and saw both of them were still there. When Kakashi looked up, Naruto was gone. "Sneaky little, I bet I only came across him by chance, so he distracted me to get away. I'm so proud of him." Eventually Kakashi wandered over to where Sasuke was so he could test his skill level. "Well Sasuke, are you coming out? Or do I have to flush you out?" called Kakashi. Sasuke quickly burst out from the underbrush and tossed a handful of shuriken at Kakashi, who easily tilted to the side to avoid them. But that's what Sasuke wanted as the shuriken set of a trap he set, causing a volley of kunai to fly at Kakashi at much faster speeds, seemingly killing him. Only for him to poof and show that all Sasuke hit was a log. "Damn, where did he go?" pondered Sasuke as he looked around, not forward, behind, to the side or up. "Then that means." Sasuke quickly jumped up barely out of the grasp of Kakashi who had gone underground. I was hoping to get you with that," noted Kakashi. "Guess you're a little better than I thought. I'll show you just how strong I am," shouted Sasuke as he began forming hand seals. "There's little chance of him being able to pull that jutsu off, but just in case," thought Kakashi. "Fireball jutsu," yelled Sasuke as he took in a deep breath and breathed out a large ball of fire that nearly hit Kakashi head on. "Impressive, but I've seen better," said Kakashi out from behind Sasuke before knocking him out with a quick chop to the neck. "Now let's see what Naruto's going to do to try to pass." Sasuke woke up not long afterwards, upset that he was taken down so easily, but found that he wasn't alone. Naruto was only a few feet away from him, giving him a praising look. "What?" snapped Sasuke. "I saw you and Kakashi fight," said Naruto. "You did alright for someone fresh out of the academy, but against someone like Kakashi, you stand no chance of getting those bells on your own." Was Sasuke's response. "I suppose you have a plan of some sort?" "Yes, but the problem is that this is a test on teamwork," replied Naruto. "Now while I don't have a problem working with you, it's our other teammate that's the issue." "Can't we file for a new teammate?" asked Sasuke. "No," said Naruto, "and that sucks. Hopefully we can somehow break her out of her fangirl ways and function as a team if we pass." "The only good thing is that she'll do anything I tell her to do," said Sasuke. "And that's why you're going to tell her my plan," said Naruto. "Alright, what's the plan?" asked Sasuke. "All out assault, you and Sakura distract Kakashi while I get my new toy ready to take Kakashi one-on-one. But during our fight the 2 of you take the bells. You can help me out if you think you can get a hit in seeing you're good enough not to hit your teammates," explained Naruto. "What kind of new toy is it?" asked Sasuke. "Wait and see," replied Naruto. Line break. After finding Sakura and having Sasuke tell her the plan, they set out to put it into action. Kakashi was waiting for them in the same clearing that they started in when they found him to initiate the plan. "Seems Naruto has managed to get them to work together," thought Kakashi as he began dogging Sasuke and Sakura's attacks. It was pitifully easy to avoid Sakura, she had very little skill in hand-to-hand combat or weapons. "Alright guys, I'm ready," suddenly called Naruto as he created a ring of shadow clones around everyone, trapping them. Kakashi noticed that Naruto was holding the hilt of a katana, but it had no blade. "I see, so you've finished it," said Kakashi, who was both impressed and worried that Naruto completed his project. "Yep, my Fuinjutsu blade, Fukusuke's Fox Wind, is finally finished," replied Naruto proudly as he gripped the hilt in both hands, "and you're my test subject." Show me how strong your blade is, challenged Kakashi as he pulled out his white chakra saber. Naruto fixed and improved it last month, it only took him a year. Naruto channeled chakra into the hilt, creating a 3 feet long blade of pure wind chakra, then charged Kakashi head-on with an overhead strike. Kakashi quickly blocked the blow, barely, and noted that Naruto's sword had 2 other bands that were a different color wrapped around the hilt as the grip not glowing. This made him realize that Naruto's sword most likely could also channel his other 2 elemental affinities, making his sword very powerful and dangerous. Naruto pressed his attack, giving Kakashi no room to counter at all, before suddenly pulling out his other sword from his back, channeling wind chakra through it, and began doing spin attacks at faster speeds than before. Forcing Kakashi to move faster as well, and soon he was able to start pulling off counter-attacks and take the lead of the fight sometimes, if only for a moment. Yeah, Uzumaki's, natural swordsmen as well as seal masters, real nasty combo. Sakura and Sasuke were standing off to the side, not sure what to make of this development. Sakura was so entranced that she forgot the plan, but luckily Sasuke didn't and noticed that the bells had been cut clean off of Kakashi's belt and dived for them. Naruto. I got the bells. Yelled Sasuke from a safe distance from the 2 fighters. Naruto soon disengaged from his fight and stood next to Sasuke's side. Good work, Sasuke, you managed to remember the plan and not get awed and distracted. Kakashi quickly checked his belt and saw that the bells had been cut clean of at some point during the fight. I see, so the plan was for Sasuke and Sakura to distract me while you got your new sword ready, and then while you were fighting me one-on-one, they were to swipe the bells from me. I also said that if they felt that they could get a shot in without putting me in danger, they could add Naruto, so then do we pass? I don't want to know what you'd do if I said no after everything, said Kakashi, who was beginning to feel the fatigue from the fight, but not only did you complete the main task I put in front of you, you also understood the hidden meaning behind this test. So we pass? Asked Sakura. Yes, you are all now officially Team 7, meet me here in 2 days to begin taking missions, replied Kakashi. I'm going to take a rest to recover from that duel, it took a lot more out of me than I thought it would. That's my sword secondary ability, chuckled Naruto, it takes a small amount of my opponent's chakra with each time it makes physical contact, if I so wish it to do so. Exactly how much can it drain? Asked Kakashi, who was amazed with what Naruto's sword can do. About 2% of the person's current level of chakra, answered Naruto, there's a few other things it can do, but I'll show you them later. Fair enough, replied Kakashi. Now if you all excuse me, I need to report to the Hokage on you 3 passing.